Good night, Twitter.
Is he gonna drop out?
Hail! Welcome
You
to
dropping out?
the late, wow, it's late edition.
Or
And-
early, depending on
or early, wherever you're at.
AM
Probably-
in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
What is wrong with you?
we're gonna talk about Jawas.
We're just talking about Jawas?
We're gonna talk about Jawas a little bit because I went back and I rewatched both episodes.
Of
And
what
I
show?
watched the Jawas and all that. And while I was watching, I was kind of writing down some notes here and there. And there's two planets that the Empire's archaeologist department, they found carvings. And basically the Jawas
Wait, Bear, where did you find that information? Because I'd never heard that before. Is that on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So there's
And,
two planets, because a lot of people had a problem with like the fact that they were on Tatooine, or that they were on a planet other than Tatooine in this.
Yeah, I think Ryan.
So there was some glyphs that were carved, or some writing that was in the Jawas language, and they found it on Coruscant, and they found it on Corellia.
And Corellia,
yeah. So basically, also the Sand People and the Jawas are related, because there was on Tatooine, there was a cataclysm that pretty much turned the planet into a desert planet. And all that sand that you see was basically glass.
Was what?
Some kind of cataclysm, be similar to what a bunch of nuclear bombs going off, but it was something to do with an asteroid or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
So the glass turned into sand. So when there's
when it deteriorated, it just became a desert planet because there was some kind of big event. Something like a.
So instead of a sandstorm, it would be a glass storm. That's horrifying.
Man, that would be.
You understand
that would
what
be
happens
a planet
when a big rock from space hits a planet?
That would not be a planet that I want to go on.
You lose the dinosaurs.
Yeah,
that's a death by 1,000 cuts.
And basically, it was a cataclysm.
It's terrible.
And did it shrink the Jawas?
Desert planet, and basically, when this happened, they were one people, and so basically they split and became two different species based off of their subspecies.
Oh, the Jawas.
Sand people and Jawas are related, and because of that planet.
Does it say that were they like once the same size, and this thing like stunted their?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, so it actually affected like
they're considered de-evolved humanoids.
Oh wow! So it stunted their growth then too. That's crazy.
And so they split, and one became the Sand People, and the other became the Jawas. And they found those two carvings, and basically what they figured out is that they were space-faring species.
Wow!
Because that they found these carvings on both planets. But that's pretty much it. They never learned anything more. I thought that was really interesting.
No, they're the only people in a galaxy of fucking spaceships that are making tanks. And only tanks.
No, there was basically, they didn't make those. They're scavengers. They didn't make those. There was a mining company that came to Tatooine, and basically they gave it up. They left all the machines behind. And so the Jawas made use of those leftover machines.
Yeah, I mean, you think they have to have some sort of technical skills because they're able to like deconstruct these things and take them apart. That's why I made the point, like, even if they, people have the problem with them leaving Tatooine, but honestly, like if they're able to take apart all these ships and you don't think they'd be able to kind of reverse engineer it and get off that planet at some point in their
history? Well, they don't want to get off the planet, because if they get off the planet, then they leave the special eggs.
Oh, but that well I don't
You
know
don't
if
want
the
to leave the
special
special eggs. Like they
Are
can
those
strip
special
down
eggs?
and rebuild
Maybe
a whole
that's why they
thing, but they
left,
don't know
though.
how to cook an egg.
Maybe that's why they left Tatooine and went to
And
a different planet to find the
that-
eggs. They were hungry.
that
There were no
beast-
eggs in Tatooine.
The beast that the Mando fought, that's
Yeah.
called a mudhorn.
Yeah, I heard that. It's not the same as the Attack of the Clones, the Reef or Reeve or something like that. It's called Reek. Reek. I think it's Reek. REEK. But they look
It's not the
pretty.
same as a Theon Greyjoy.
Oh, don't remind me of the.
He said reek.
Reek.
I call him a different name, but I
I
don't
know
want
you call him the sausageless one.
That's one way of putting it. Come on, like if there's 1,000,001 different characters, you have to try to identify them as something. Like you
Right.
can't remember these ancient middle. No, I almost said Middle Eastern. No, mid-century. Weird names. I don't know. The Tolkien era, whatever. These middle-aged names, no idea. Can't keep track of them. None of them are normal except Ned for some reason.
That's because that's the short version.
And then John. Then we have John. Like, good. A normal name. Yay.
So basically, the whole
they
reason why
de-evolved.
I did the rewatch is because I wanted
Just like the
to
Jawas.
Yes.
I wanted to get a feel for these Jawas in this these 2 episodes, and there wasn't anywhere referenced red eyes, but they did talk about the technology they do use in their goggles. That the coloration, according to what it was saying, basically it's technology. It's glowing. We're not actually seeing their eyes.
Yeah, that's what I always figured.
Like they were just like they
Something to
wear
do with their
masks or
goggles.
something.
Yeah.
The goggles.
Same
Okay.
with Sand people. Sand people do the same thing.
You know what's amazing? Like if you shine a flashlight into their hood and see their face, why hasn't anyone done that?
I think it's wrapped. I think it has wrappings around it. I think they've done like artistic iterations of it where they're like wrapped like mummies to protect them.
Because nobody thinks to take a flashlight into the desert.
Or that.
Sure does help.
It does.
You know, you gotta have ways to make a fire. You gotta have light. You know, always good to have a lighter in the pocket. It's a matchbook. You know, never know. Never know.
Like, I mean, the only person I know of that took a flashlight into the desert was Anakin Skywalker, and he definitely turned it on.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, Anakin had one.
Yeah, it worked real good.
It worked real good.
It lit up everybody's eyes.
Oh. Yeah, he had himself a little lightsaber slaughter.
So then, are we going to see regular sand people in this show, or are we only going to see Jawas?
Yeah, and I'm hoping that they're going to explain why the eyes are red.
I don't care about their eyes.
Why are they on Tatooine if the glyphs that they found are on Coruscant and Corellia? You know how the heck
it was
were they banished away?
The scientists were kind of theorizing that they were a spacefaring culture at one point.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they just like the desert planets.
They were probably brought there by the white man.
Oh, yep,
That's probably true.
But the one thing
they just made those giant ass tank things, and they were like, nope, no more enslavement.
So
screw you guys.
They didn't make the tank things. They were left there by a mining consortium of some type.
And they happen to look exactly the same from planet to planet.
So then, okay, They were
Oh,
left there by the mining consortium,
point,
and you rewatched episode 2. Why were all of the miners also midgets? Because the Mandalorian doesn't fit in the cockpit.
Oh, we're just tearing it. You guys are tearing this theory apart.
Hey, that is a very good
you both
point.
made
That's
fantastic points.
absolutely a good point.
Mhm.
Yeah, why do they look the same on every planet, and why are they the same size?
They don't
That's
specify.
great. You guys are both.
What they didn't specify is they didn't specify which species left them.
Now,
Okay.
I wonder if this is oh man, it's the Yoda species that left them. They're miners.
Yeah.
They can
pretty
Yeah, the
fit,
cockpit was actually massive. It was way bigger than it needed to be.
It needs to be. The Yoda, the baby Yoda, is the only one who's like, oh, I wish this were smaller, just a little bit,
Right?
just to see the Mandalorian get on his hands and knees.
I also
Like,
found
just
some
have to beg
information.
to get out.
I found some information about the egg,
Oh, the omelet.
the egg that they wanted. Basically,
raw
they
omelet.
will pay.
They wanted it hard boiled, but
Yeah, they will trade any amount of junk for one of those eggs because
they're just hungry.
they love it. They're absolutely insane to have it. It's so good for them.
So it's like crack to them. It's a drug.
Maybe,
It's the
maybe,
good old poppy egg.
Yeah.
I don't even. You can't even say crack. Like the phrase, it's like crack to them is not even applicable anymore.
Yeah.
Because who does crack now? It's like meth, right? Yeah, it's like meth to them.
Well, yeah. Certain areas it's epidemic,
Yeah, I know.
But, so yeah, they will do anything pretty much to get one of those eggs. That's why they chanted the egg like that, because they love it.
Huh.
So he should have asked for more.
It's considered a yummy delicacy by Jawas.
Well, why were they wasting it then?
They weren't wasting it. They were going to town on it.
They were.
That's why. Okay, but you don't like
devouring it.
Yeah, but you get it all. You're getting it all over the place. Like if you had the greatest milkshake of your entire life, you're not going to try and eat it with your hand.
Hey, Christy.
If you were craving a Twinkie and you couldn't wait to get that Twinkie, and finally, I'm using a Zombieland reference here. You finally find that Twinkie, you would devour that thing so quick. You're not going to save it. You're not going to risk the fact that you might lose it.
Savoring it is different. I was talking about the waste of them just digging their hands in it and just trying to scoop it as fast as possible. Because you're right. I'm going to eat the Twinkie fast, but I'm not going to miss any of the Twinkie.
Yeah,
like if I took a bite of it and some of the innards of the Twinkie squirted out, I'm getting that innard of the Twinkie and I'm wiping it off the counter and I'm eating it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it because you get excited. Well, we don't know. Maybe that's what they did.
That's possible. I mean, they could have all cleaned each other. I mean, these are dirty, dirty sand people. I mean, we know they're dirty. The sand gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Hence the red eyes, red/yellow/orange eyes.
Right. Just
but yeah,
we
don't know. They could have scooped it up afterwards and put it back in their shell. And
yeah, you have a good night too, Christy. Thanks for smashing that like button.
Oh, thanks, Christy.
Yes.
Hi, Christy.
Speaking of good night or good morning, I should probably go too.
Oh, you!
Well, hey, man, you got
to get ready to fall out of a plane.
I'm jumping. I'm not falling out of a plane.
No, you're not supposed
to jump.
You don't.
If you jump, you hit your head. You don't jump.
Then you get knocked out and you're falling unconscious. You just step out and drop.
Wait, what? You don't jump?
No, you don't jump. You just kind of
jumping out of a helicopter. Yeah, go ahead and jump.
But this isn't a helicopter. It's a plane.
It's an analogy.
And usually
don't jump out of the plane. You just fall.
And
you don't want to go higher. The whole point is to go low.
Right.
To fall out of the plane.
Like you're already 10,000 feet up. You don't need that extra 8 inches of jumping.
Yeah, but you're
not in danger of hitting the ground as you fall out.
You don't you just. Oh my God, this is making it worse. I'm just falling backwards or forwards or wherever. Oh,
well, hopefully it's not
while
backwards.
strapped onto another man.
Oh man!
You're just gonna be one giant dildo in the sky.
I gotta agree. Twinkies are definitely awesome. You know they got chocolate ones now.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yes.
What chocolate Twinkies? I have not seen this.
I have not seen
chocolate Twinkies with chocolate filling. I believe. I thought I saw them.
I think they do them both ways.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
No.
No. Okay, we'll talk to you later, you colorful bastard.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And on that note,
my wife was
and on that note, I am falling out of a plane.
With a parachute.
how many hours do you have? T-minus what?
What
time is this?
6.
It's like in 8 hours.
Time is this going down? 6?
Oh,
8?
Shut up. Going down.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you caught that.
Okay. Well, can't delay the inevitable. Goodbye. Hopefully I'll see you
You're
tomorrow.
supposed to snap your fingers when you say you're inevitable.
I am inevitable.
That joke fell a little flat.
Yeah.
It did fall flat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is rough.
So
hopefully it doesn't fall a little splat.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Good night. So PB,
Finally.
did you hear about Final and my discovery that we discovered together pretty much?
Oh yeah, this was
yeah.
Did you guys talk about this tonight?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to,
I mean, I probably heard it
Not on
because
Zod, but on the fourth wave earlier.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Then maybe I didn't hear it.
What did everyone think? Well, we talked about this a week ago on our after hour show on Saturday, or I don't remember when that was. I guess it was our Saturday show. Or no, it might not have been. It might have been it was our Wednesday show last week. We did a after hours thing, I think.
All right, what is this discovery?
Yeah, go ahead, Bear. Because you found it. You found it first. You mentioned it first, and then I found the actual music for it. I was like, this is it. Once you told me, I was like,
I kept saying it every now and then, man. That sounds real familiar.
Yeah.
I'm like, it sounds like Rocky. I keep saying it's like it sounds like Rocky. And it's like, and then I'm just like, oh, no kidding. So I'm gonna play these 2 small clips for comparison purposes and opinions. And I know the order. Can you guys figure out what they are?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay, play the second one. Okay, the second one's Rocky. The first one's Mandalorian, but they are very similar. I'm pretty sure, but that they're really similar.
And by the way, he really does say McClunky.
Oh yeah.
I made a meme. Well, it's not really a meme. I just uploaded it to the private chat so you could hear it. And it goes, McClunky, right before he shoots. I mean, you could see his mouth forming the words. I'm just like, my God, that is just so crazy. Why did they do that?
Where did they take that? They must have just reused, the same scene from earlier in that scene, like the same shot from earlier in that scene, because they didn't refilm anything. So they had to use the same footage that we've already seen, but just added.
You're telling me they didn't bring Greedo back to refilm that 40 years later?
Well, they just CGI him now. He wouldn't even have to be there.
So yeah,
I mean, does it look more or less real than Henry Cavill's upper lip?
By the way, people have been guessing the first one as the Rocky thing.
No, the second one's Rocky.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying
it is okay. Yeah. No, I can tell.
So that first one is supposed to be from The Mandalorian.
It is from The Mandalorian.
The first one is from The Mandalorian.
But if you
people
they're
have
really
been guessing
close.
The Mandalorian as the Rocky one.
Yeah, I can believe it because they sound really freaking close.
Man,
so
I'm a Rocky fanatic. So
what is that like? The
I
intro music? When did they play that song?
Yeah, that's his main theme. That's like the credit song. And,
Oh,
yeah, it's like the main theme of Mandalorian,
Yep.
and it's like eerily similar to the Rocky. It's not the main Rocky theme. It's not like the Gonna Fly Now, but it's Bill Conti's
Right.
score. It's from the first. Well, it's at least in the first movie. I think it's might be in a couple other ones, but it's like the moment in the fight where he has to gather it up and like it's either do or die kind of thing. When they play that inspirational kind of on the edge of your seat moment. That's the song. I think it's called like what did I say, Bear? Or what was it? The countdown, or was it
Final Countdown?
Not the is it Final Countdown? Not the song though, Final Countdown, but that might be what it's.
I got it somewhere here.
Going the Distance, isn't it? Going the Distance.
Going the Distance, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah. But it's just there's no lyrics. But it's not. There's no lyrics.
Parsecs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where'd it go?
Man, yeah, it's very, very similar. And then you made the point that I think it was you that made the point that Carl Weathers, is also in The Mandalorian, who's Apollo Creed. So there's multiple connections here between Rocky
and I bet if you go back and watch Rocky, and when those songs are playing, that beginning of that song, those
he's the secret
were
Skywalker.
probably for Apollo. It probably started playing when they were showing Apollo, and then when it switched into the high tempo, they showed Rocky.
You know what? Yeah, I want to rewatch that. I want to rewatch.
Hey, Spork, what's going on?
Oh, Spork, good morning. If you want, send him the link.
Yes, it's always good morning for him.
I know he's like in the car.
It's in the creator chat.
Oh, okay.
The link is in the creator chat.
But he might be at work right now too, because 2, 3, 4. I think it's what time is it? 4 o'clock his time, or is it 5? I forget if he's 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. I put the link in the creator chat.
Yeah, I'll have to work, guys. Yeah. Oh man, I just got home from work.
Hey, what's up, Brad?
In a couple hours now, but see, we're getting the early morning crowd. This is the late show, Spork.
Yeah, this is the
late early show.
This is the right, yeah, the late / early show.
Okay, let's play this for sport.
Oh, 5:30. I mean, it even has that yeah.
Yeah, the trumpet puts it over the top.
Yeah, that's Rocky right there, but it has that. It's so similar. I mean, it's not the same, but it's really, really close. But hey,
Spork needs to check his clock because it should only be 5:23 there.
I think he said he works at 5:30. Because I said like, what time you start work, and I think he said 5:30.
So yeah, that's that clip.
Oh yeah, it's.
I hope he's not late.
I know. I hope he lives close. And it's cold. Well, it's cold here actually. Where are you, PB? Where are you? You're up in Washington. Is that?
I'm in northern Wisconsin.
Oh, northern. Oh man, yeah. Never mind. Cold is. I retract that statement.
It's cold. It's cold here in LA. You sound like LB. He's like, oh, it's cold here. It's 56 degrees out. I was like, I'm not going to see 56 until sometime next
summer.
year.
Well, last night it was 37.
Middle of July.
Oh, it's 32 right now.
Well, you're
right now. I'm getting lucky.
Where you are, I mean, yeah, it gets cold.
It's raining and it's 39.
And it's kind of rare that it's 32 in the 30s here because normally when it's raining,
oh my gosh,
it's
52 and raining
between
here.
Like low 40s and 50s when it's raining, and it rains the majority of the winter.
Oh, it's 35 degrees where Spork is. Oh, he's parking now.
We're having
a
heat wave, huh?
He won't be. Yeah.
Is the Spork in Wisconsin too?
No, he's not.
Oh, that's right. He's Eastern time.
Yeah, I think
he's in Michigan somewhere. Or?
I think he's Jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna
Spork,
say,
I forget where you.
Oh God.
Or I know he's from.
My sympathy.
He's from Jersey.
Spork, you're East Coast, right?
He's East Coast, but I forget.
Because he said it was 5:30.
Right, yeah, he's East Coast time. It's hard to keep my time straight here on the late early show.
Well, I didn't know. I think it would be the later. Bear, you were the one who told me that Mike is in like oh yeah, Jersey hell. Oh no, New England. Oh okay.
Atlantic.
Oh, New England.
Atlantic time
That's
zone.
even worse. That's
4 hours.
Man. That's even worse.
So
no, I lived in New York. I'm from the East Coast. I lived in New York in the city for 10 years.
It's 6 something there right now.
It sounds terrible.
New York? No, man.
No.
New York City.
Where Mike's from.
I was in my 20s when I lived there, so it was fantastic.
I'm talking the density of population sounds terrible.
I
grew up in the woods.
Yeah, well, for you,
I used to live in North Kingstown, Rhode Island, on the Narragansett Bay.
Ah.
You used to cross the bridge, the Nosebleed Bridge, to Newport.
Okay.
Well, Sporking, see, you got to understand. Like, I'm originally from Pittsburgh, so
I'm
my dad. Really? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, my dad's from Pittsburgh.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So I'm a diehard Steeler fan. So the Patriots and you are? Oh, Bears.
I am. Yeah.
That's why we get along so well.
Yeah.
I like great.
The Steelers. I like the Bears, and I like the Seahawks, and I like any rival grudge match game.
I have nothing against the Bears.
Any rivalries?
Oh, I love it.
I love those kind of games. Because this last game that I watched, I didn't watch. I listened to last Sunday, and the Seahawks got it by the skin of their teeth, man.
Yeah,
they were playing. Was it the 49ers? I think. They were playing the 49ers, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it was an in-division game, yeah.
And
Sporky, you lived in Pittsburgh for 10 years? F the Steelers. That's because you're a Patriots fan. I mean, I loathe the Patriots. But but get this, my wife is a huge Patriots fan. So, it's a very strenuous relationship when it comes to football season. But when the Steelers are playing, she'll root for the Steelers. When the Patriots are playing, I do my best to not hate them. And when they play each other, it's it's all out war.
It's wartime, right?
Yeah. Spork, you lived in Pittsburgh for 10 years. Look at that. And your dad's from Pittsburgh, Bear? That's crazy. Were you forced there?
I came back and I visited my my aunt and
went to Duquesne.
It wasn't quite in Pittsburgh. It was just outside of Pittsburgh. I think it might have been Heidelberg somewhere.
Oh yeah, I know Heidelberg. Yeah.
And she lived above a Sicilian pizzeria.
Oh yeah, there's good Italian there.
So I'm there and I'm like, oh man, I gotta go down there and I gotta have their pizza.
I wish Zod was here right now to pronounce that. It would be so fun.
Hole in the wall pizza, man. I love those places.
Heidelberg?
The oven.
No, he said that he. I'm pretty sure he went to Duquesne. That's how that's pronounced,
Duquesne,
right?
Duquesne. Yeah, Duquesne.
Yeah,
Duquesne,
that's not how Zod would say it. There's an S in that word.
Oh, Duquesne.
Duquesne.
Yeah, Duquesne. Duquesne.
So I don't know how you guys feel about.
Oh, see you, Sporking. Have a good show. Well, God, I was gonna say have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good work day.
Yeah.
Right. We can say have a nice day to people, even though we're gonna go to sleep when we're done.
Right. Yeah. It's so weird.
But
it's very strange.
I don't know how you feel about pizzas.
I'm addicted to pizza. Pizza is my favorite thing.
I love pizza. And I love looking for these places that got these old pizza ovens. Well, this particular place that my aunt lived above, the guy told me the story of the place. And basically his grandfather had brought that oven over from Sicily.
Damn.
And,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so basically I got to have some of the pizza out of that oven. And man, same recipe, probably the same yeast they've been using since they came over, because
since the Romans started making pizza,
and So basically, man, it was really good. I haven't had pizza like that since.
I mean, Pittsburgh has really good pizza and Italian food because there's a lot of Italians there. Like I'm half Italian, and it has good like Polish pierogies. That's the other thing. Pittsburgh's got really good.
That's quite a
I'm not
combo.
Polish.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's a mix of people because it was a huge city back in the day. It was the Steel City, so it really attracted a lot of different ethnicities. So it's got a pretty good
cheese.
Yeah, we have cheeseheads. Yeah. You must not like the Steelers too much.
I mean,
you did.
I have been disappointed in the Steelers ever since Super Bowl 30 because I hate the effing Cowboys. But ever since Super Bowl 45, I've kind of liked the Steelers. Like, I appreciate that Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the one that the Packers beat the Steelers in.
Yeah, I know. I just said that.
Okay.
You beat us, so you must not hate us too much.
No, I don't.
I had a friend who went to that game and brought me back some, memorabilia. I'm like, I don't really want to keep this because we lost.
Thank you for bringing us back. That happened to me. The wife came home on a Saturday when she went rummage sailing, and she's like, "Yeah, I got you some Packer stuff." And one of the shirts is from Super Bowl 32 when they lost to the fucking Broncos and John Elway. And I said, "What the fuck is this?" She's like, "It's a Packers shirt." I was like, "You can go ahead and burn this fucker right now."
Yeah.
Or I'll burn it later.
Hey,
like, what are you talking about? What's the problem? I was like, "This is from Super Bowl 32, you bitch."
Yeah, we lost this fucking Super Bowl.
She's like, "Why are you so hostile right now?" I was like, "You don't get it then."
Yeah. Do you not know me at all?
She's like, "You just went from a 2 to a 10. I was like, "Yeah, you brought Super Bowl 32 up. What do you want from me?" Like, you didn't get a shirt that's from Super Bowl 31. I would have been like, "Yeah, the Patriots suck. Drew Bledsoe's a fucking joke."
Wow, and look how that turned out for
couldn't have worked out any better.
When it comes to rivalry games, who do you like to see play them?
Me?
Tom PB.
Are we talking just in football?
In football, yeah.
Well, I mean,
rivalry teams
doesn't get better than Packers-Bears. Like, there is no bigger rivalry in the NFL than Packers-Bears. I don't care what division you're in. I don't care what conference you're in. The Ravens have only been around since the year 2000.
Well, yeah, but
there's one I like.
They were the Browns. The Ravens were the Browns.
I like when the Packers and the Green Bay play against each other. Those are always
Wait, Packers and Green Bay? That's the same team. When they play who?
Green Bay.
But the Packers, Green Bay are the Packers.
No, I'm thinking.
I'm so confused.
I am confused too. I hate teams up all the time. It's
Packers and Vikings.
Not the Vikings.
Oh, that's a big rivalry. Yeah, especially with Favreau.
Right, like that put it over the top. That was the only time when I was like, "Oh, geez."
Steelers.
No, Steelers and Ravens
versus the Packers.
Because the Ravens were they were the same Browns team. Like the organization literally moved, and then they created a new Browns team. But the Browns team now is not the same team as what they were during the 70s heyday. The Browns became the Ravens. The whole organization left and moved to Baltimore.
Right, but they weren't able to take their history with them.
Right. Yeah, no, they weren't able to take the history with them. So they had to start a new organization, but it was the same people. And then the Browns, Cleveland, started a new Browns team, but it was all new. It wasn't related to the heyday Browns. So the rivalry of the Steelers,
they're
Browns,
not the Jim Browns.
Steelers, Ravens. Yeah. No, they're not the Jim Browns. That's the Ravens now. So that's why that rivalry is so great, because it has all the history of the Steelers Browns, through the 70s when the Steelers were just the Patriots.
Do the Ravens have the same rivalry? No.
What, the Steelers? Yeah, I mean it's still that classic rivalry.
Yeah, they still look at it the same way.
It's amazing. It's amazing that it survived.
Right.
With the way the younger generations are these days,
Yeah.
how things
like
change so fast.
If you don't understand what's going on when you're coming to either the Green Bay Packers or the Chicago Bears for the rivalry, then you might as well leave. Like the last person that I recall getting it correct was Lovie Smith in his first press conference. He's like, they asked him the question, well, what do you want to do now that, you've been named head coach of the Bears? What's job number one? He said, job number one, beat the Green Bay Packers. And I was like, motherfucker, that's, you're the Bears coach, but that's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to hear out of the rivals head coach.
Hey, no one loves anything better than a huge anti-hero or a huge just villain to hate. I mean, that's the best thing,
Exactly. I'm okay
with the Patriots
definitely. AFC definitely.
Like
Ravens Steelers is probably the best rivalry because it was, and it didn't happen twice a year. It was Tom Brady and whichever team Peyton Manning was playing for. That was the best rivalry for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
So then he retired, and it was, now where do you go? They don't have any rivals in their division. So you can exclude that division. There are no real rivals in the West because it always seems to rotate out there. It's either one team is real good, one team's real bad, and you never know which one it's going to be. And then the AFC South is essentially the same thing. You never know which teams are going to be good. You never know which teams are going to be bad. They don't have any real history with each other because, they got 2 expansion teams. Or do they have 3 expansion teams?
I think there's...
I guess one moved.
3 now.
Well, the Texans were the expansion team. The Jaguars were an expansion team. And then the Oilers moved to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Did they keep their name?
No, they're the Titans.
Now they're the Titans.
So they're an expansion team.
No, the NFL's real wacky when it comes to the naming of football teams. Like, they said you cannot keep the name when you move. It has to be changed. But the Rams can go wherever the fuck they want, whenever they want, and they're always the Rams. Like, we can be the LA Rams. We can be the Las Vegas Rams. They could go there if they wanted to. St. Louis Rams. And then we'll come back to LA. We'll be the Rams. They're never going to change their name. They're just the Rams. They're America's Rams.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the NBA, you had the Supersonics. And then they moved to Oklahoma City, and became the Thunder.
Well, that's not as wacky as the whole Hornet situation. You know the Hornet situation, right?
No, what's the Hornet situation?
What's going on with that?
The Hornet situation, it goes back, it might go back over a decade. The Charlotte Bobcats, right?
Oh, yep, I remember them, yeah.
Okay, so they moved to New Orleans. Like, they were the Charlotte Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
They went to there. They changed their name. Then there was an expansion team in Charlotte, which was the Bobcats. So you had the New Orleans Hornets and the Charlotte Bobcats. And for whatever reason, they wanted the name back. They said, we don't like being called the Bobcats. We want to go back to what our original name was, even though we're not the original team. And the NBA said, well, sure, why not? So they gave them the name back and had New Orleans change their names to the Pelicans.
Oh,
because they live on the ocean.
Do we get a choice in what the name is? Hello.
I mean, the Pelicans, can't think of a more soft name than the Pelican.
It's not a good bird.
It's almost like they probably did it as an insult too. Yeah, I'm sure we'll think so. Name. You don't want it? Sure, we'll give you a name. The freaking Pelicans. How do you like that? Now you're stuck with it. You get what you want, so you can't complain, but you're stuck with the Pelicans.
Naming in the NBA is real wacky. And it goes on both ends. Like, it'll go on the end of the nickname of your team or on what state you're from. Just ask the Nets, who are from New Jersey or Brooklyn or New York or wherever the fuck they want to be, and then they just pick a name.
Yeah, well, the Dodgers were originally New York.
Yep, they were the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Brooklyn Dodgers. Yep. And then they moved
They
to LA.
moved out there and kept the name and changed just the city name.
Yeah. So it seems like they're real lackadaisical
about that.
there.
I mean, have you ever heard anybody say the New York Football Giants?
The New York Football Giants. No.
You've heard people say that before whenever they've done, like the older guys that are like Chris Berman's age will use that phrase. That's because apparently the San Francisco Giants baseball team also used to be in New York.
Oh.
Oh.
So
I didn't know that.
Just say the Giants. You had to say football or baseball. So one of those moved and one didn't, and that's why the phrase football giants has continued on with some of the older people.
I did not know that they were. I guess that makes sense to name both teams the Giants back then. But wow, I didn't know they were a New York team.
Neither did I until I had heard that story.
How many
I was like,
teams did New York have? The Giants, the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers.
Wow,
dude, they had all of
every
the
borough.
Teams.
All 5 boroughs had had their own team.
It was probably that, or they all end up freaking fighting with each other. It's like give them all their own team.
Or something. Yeah.
Like I don't even remember the original 8 teams that are in the NFL, but I want to say half of them are from New York.
Original 8 teams.
I think that's all it was, because I think there was 8 in the NFL and there was 6 in the AFL.
Yeah, it is something like that. Okay, here we go. So it's the Giants. Oh, yeah, Giants, Bears, Cardinals, Packers, Lions, Redskins, Eagles, and Steelers.
Ah, okay. And where were the Cardinals from originally? I'm pretty sure they were from Chicago.
Okay, original Cardinals team?
Pretty sure they were the Chicago Cardinals. Then they had to move because
Arizona. Let's see.
For a while there, they were the Phoenix Cardinals before they changed the name to Arizona Cardinals. That was for like 1 or 2 years when they first moved there.
You see, it doesn't even mention that in the history here. 1994, the Cardinals are christened as a new name, the Arizona Cardinals. It doesn't say Phoenix Cardinals.
Ah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that, though.
Because there's definitely the guy who I used to work for doing electrical work. His mother has a place down there, so he would go down there every winter, usually for a couple of weeks or something like that. And he was down there in the 90s when they had the UFOs flying over the city, and he has some memorabilia or whatever you want to call it that says Phoenix Cardinals on it.
Oh wow!
So it was definitely a thing. Now maybe it was just a local thing, and I'm talking out of my ass right now. It wouldn't be a first.
Yeah, or it could be another case of. I wish I had an echo effect here, but the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Oh man, looking those up is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I made a video. I made a video on one of them. No, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to look at. There's some things that. Okay, so I was like very, very skeptical on it, but then I watched a couple of videos, and there were a couple of things that they asked you a simple question, but they didn't explain anything. They were like, here's this, and this, and there were a few of them that I like. I mean, I am 100%, that kind of like I'll bet my life on it, I'm right kind of thing, and I was wrong. Berenstain, well, that Berenstain Bears, that's one that I remember as Berenstain Bears, but I can see how it could be confused.
That's just a pronunciation mistake.
Yeah, it's right. That's a very easy one to believe, but that's not necessarily like truth. But there were a few of them that were like, no way. There's like 100%. I would bet that this happened. I remember seeing this. I remember it. And it wasn't true. So I don't know. I go back and forth on it. There's some things I think that are very explainable, and then there's some things I'm like, wait a second, this is like freaking
some are
me
explainable. some you're like, well, I
And
remember it being exact opposite.
Right, and not the fact that it's just me, but it's like it's enough people that there's actually like videos on it because there's that many people that think the same way or remember.
Right, it's enough people to be out of the statistical anomaly category.
Yeah, exactly. And when they ask you a question just straight out, it's like, here's what do you remember, this or this, and they're not saying, there's no like reference point. It's just like, what does my memory say? And you're wrong. You're like, what? There's no way. I remember this. There's no way that's wrong. So it's enough to make me, it's very interesting, I'll say. But I can't say whether I 100% believe in it or not. I just say there's enough there to make me more interested to think there might be something to it.
Well, right. And in 20 years or 30 years, they'll have the Mandela effect of who was in charge of Disney Lucasfilm for the first 4 years of its life. Was it a woman or was it John Fargo?
See, if that happens, time changes. We're going to look back on this and say, wow, remember that? We remember this KK. Remember, we started this whole Fandom Menace thing. No, it never existed.
I thought that I was a part of this whole movement and everything, but apparently she never existed.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. So that's one of them I do remember because I don't remember all the examples, but I do remember it's the Publishers Clearinghouse, and Ed, and it's Ed McMahon, right? So
right.
I remember watching those commercials of Ed McMahon going with the big check, and saying like, you won Publishers Clearinghouse, knocking on the doors. And, and it turns out that never happened. There has been no commercial that's ever existed with him knocking on doors with a big check. It never happened. He was involved in like publishing house or something like that, which was like totally unrelated, had nothing to do with the lottery. They never did any kind of like, charity kind of thing like that. It was just a company named Publishing something. It was kind of similar. But if you remember him, if you have this memory of him going on knocking on doors with the microphone and the camera guy, and he hands out a big check and says, "You've won Publishing Clearinghouse." He's never done anything like that in his entire life. But it's a Mandela effect that there is a large percentage of people that have a memory of him, commercials of him going on knocking on doors with the check. But that is in our reality right now. That has never happened. So
well, right. Just
that was one of the things that kind of started, making me like, wait a second. I would like bet my life I remembered that kind of thing. Did you miss a pirate?
I missed a good part of it.
Oh, we were talking about the Mandela effect. You have to rewatch your own stream later on.
I caught quite a bit of it, but yeah.
Yeah. But that Ed McMahon thing, but there were others that were like that I was so certain, they were right. And then
right, because usually for me it comes down to about 75% of them I say are totally ridiculous, and I was like, or can be easily explained away.
Right.
But 25% of them, you're sitting there looking at it, you're like, no, that can't be true. That can't be true. And then you look it up and you go, well, fucking A, it is true.
I cannot believe that's not true. Yeah. Yeah. And there's enough of them and enough people, to make it known that like, hey, there's enough people that all remember it this way to make you just kind of think like, well, I don't know. Like maybe there is something to this. I know it sounds crazy, but we don't really know.
Like the name that they gave it.
Mandela. Yeah, well, that's another thing. Like that was another thing I remembered as a child. But now this, I was a child, so I can understand maybe that I didn't remember right or something. But that was before I even knew what the Mandela effect was. I had thought this. I remember hearing this like years and years ago. Mandela, was alive and he was in jail, and I remember him dying in prison. I remember watching a TV newscast as a child in my kitchen and watching like a parade, for like honoring him, but he had died. He had passed away. It was like his funeral kind of procession sort of thing,
right.
And I remember that watching as a kid in my kitchen. And then I found out that's not true. It never happened. He was still alive. And then, now come like a couple years ago, I hear about this Mandela effect, and they named it that because so many people remember him dying. And then I was like, wow, I got to check in this because that's like I had already had this experience, years before I had ever even heard of this. So that's kind of what got me into it. And then I start finding out, there's like all these other things, and you're like, oh my god, this is what I remember too. I don't remember this. I don't know how this is not true. Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot we don't know about reality, so I don't.
Well, I mean, and like the simple ones. Oh, go ahead, Bear.
There are so many mysteries out there that are yet unsolved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, then you got the simple ones like, what did Darth Vader say at the end of Empire?
Oh, yeah.
And
see, that was
75% of people get it wrong because they just don't remember.
Or maybe it is, maybe it's to play devil's advocate. Maybe it happened in their reality. Maybe that's their Mandela effect. For us, it's like, no. I remember he never says, "Luke, I'm your father." That was never the line. Like, I always remember the line that we have in our reality, but maybe it was different. It could be like easily explained. I agree with you, PB. I think it's just people, not remembering correctly, because there's a lot of pop culture references to that line, and they always say like, "Luke, I am your father." There's the Tommy boy. There's a lot.
Right.
So I think it's just kind of that kind of thing. It's kind of lost in translation, confused. But to play devil's advocate, maybe in their reality that is how it was said, if any of this were to be true, in the first place.
Well, imagine it this way, that you're trying to convey that line to somebody that doesn't really know Star Wars. Like, they know that it's a movie franchise. Maybe they saw it back in the day, maybe they didn't.
Yeah.
But most people, even if you haven't seen Star Wars, they know that line from the movie in general purposes.
Right.
But if you walk up to somebody and you say, "No, I'm your father," they'd be like, why is this random guy saying this to me? What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
It'd sound very confusing saying a line of dialogue kind of as a monologue. But when you walk up and you say, "Luke, I am your father," it triggers something in somebody's head. They're like, "Oh, well, if I'm not Luke, what are they talking about?" And then you're able to put the dots together. They're like, "Oh, they're making a Star Wars reference."
Yeah, it's become like a cultural reference to phrase it like that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, for that one, that never really hit me. But I don't know. They do say like some people they're like some people could be affected by certain Mandela effects in this theory, and then some people are not.
Right.
So maybe people do have different memories of certain things that we don't, because that didn't change in our reality according to this theory.
You know what I remember?
What?
In the beginning, the blue words in the beginning crawl of the Star Wars movie, just before the yellow crawl.
The
far, far away.
Yeah.
I remember it being spoken.
Oh no, I don't remember that at all. A long time ago.
I remember it being spoken.
Me either. I don't ever think I heard it spoken.
No, maybe
or remember hearing it spoken.
It is spoken in, I believe, the trailer for A New Hope. I believe when they show the trailer, I think it's narrated a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars coming to theaters. Yeah, I think it's in the trailer. I think it is. You probably do remember that. True.
I'm kind of wondering if the theatrical release I watched may have.
I think you could pull it up. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's possible. According to the theory, it could have happened.
Right.
But I do remember it in the. I think it is in the commercial. I'm pretty sure it's narrated, or not the commercial, the trailer for the movie that came out in like 77 or 76. I don't know if it came out like the year before the release or if it came out in 77, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the narrator does say like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah. There was something else with Star Wars. It was like, I think it was C3PO. It had to do with his leg being silver. It originally was silver, and then now it's not. But like, people remember it being silver. There are like toys that are still made. So they have this other thing called, it's like a Mandela effect. What's it called? Like reverb or Mandela effect hangover or something like that. They phrase it where like certain things will still exist in our reality, even though that thing has never happened. There'll be like pieces of media, like in TV shows or cartoons or toys that that still you can still see. It's like a remnant. I think they call it remnants or something like that.
Okay.
Mandela effect remnants, where there's certain things that still exist, now that you can go and watch, and it's like, oh, here's the commercial from the 80s, and it has
through.
And C3PO, right? Yeah, it has bled through. Like C3PO still has a silver leg, even though in the movie now, even the original, not special edition, we're talking like the original. It like
Right.
He doesn't. It never happened, But yeah, there's residual or something like that. Yeah, bleed through. Hey, it's interesting. Like the Man in the High Castle, they kind of deal with this sort of idea in their TV show, because it's this alternate reality where America won the war, and reality and history has happened as we know it. But in the TV show, Germany won the war, and the Nazis are ruling. But they're getting these videos from the other side.
Oh, that's the one that has America split into the
yes.
Nazi half and the Japanese half.
Yep. And there's this like neutral zone in the center. And it takes place in the 60s, and the Nazis have been ruling for 20 years. And that's like how, what happened in reality. But then they get these videos from, this unknown source called the Man in the High Castle. And these videos show a different reality where America won, and it's like all the news footage of America winning the war that we know, like the viewers of the show.
Right. They're just showing regular footage per se.
Yeah, regular footage. Yeah. And they're wondering, like, was this propaganda? Is it made to stir up a resistance, or is it is this real coming from some other timeline or some other, like reality? So it sort of, has that idea of the Mandela effect.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was another big one that I remember too, was a movie called, a alleged movie called Shazam that starred Sinbad. And so many people remember this, and I had gone to my
That's the one
wife.
that got me starting to look up the Mandela effect.
Right. That's a big one, because that's a really, a lot of people have a very strong memory of this. I asked my brother, I asked friends, I had asked a lot of people, hey, do you remember the movie in the 80s called Sin? I didn't say anything about the Mandela effect. I just asked them this outright because I didn't want to give them any reference. I was like, I just want to know what your honest answer is. So I said, hey, do you remember this movie in the 80s? Sinbad was in it. He played a genie. It was called Shazam. And the amount of people that I asked had said, yeah, I remember that movie. And then when I said, okay, well, that never existed. There's nothing like that. That is
that
a total
really
false.
familiar.
Yeah. And people would freak out saying, what? No, I remember that movie. And I'm like, yeah, my brother and I were talking about it. So like, yeah, I remember like watching as a kid. We were, and we could remember like details about it, but it never existed. Nothing like that's ever happened. Now, since then, collegehumor.com did do a parody of it, because of how popular it got with the Mandela effect. So they parodied, they actually got Sinbad to act in it as a genie, and they kind of made this whole this little parody of the Mandela effect in this VHS tape. It was pretty good, but the actual movie never happened. So that's crazy. Hey, Hammer.
Right, because they're mixing, from what I got from that Mandela effect was, they're mixing the movie Kazam with Shaq.
Right, with Shaq. Yeah.
With it was either Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening where Sinbad was hosting like a movie marathon on UPN or whatever the fuck they were calling it at the time.
Right.
And it was pirate movies or something along that line. Like those were the style of movies. So he was dressed up like a pirate, and his pirate getup looked like, oh, well, he kind of looks like a fucking genie.
Yeah,
and those
but
are the two things that they combined.
Right. But I've seen that footage, and that is not like what my memory is of what the Shazam, and it's not the Shaq, because the Shaq thing came out in like the 90s, and I remember clearly it was like like late 80s. It was before the Shaq thing came out, because I remember the Shaq thing, but it was this was earlier on than that. And yeah, what I've seen from that show or the pirate thing, it's not what I remember. But I don't know. Like that's who knows? Who's to say? That could be just bad memory, a kid. But it's when you hear something or ask something, and your first response is like, yes, I remember this. And it's not, they're not like framing it in this Mandela effect question. It's just, hey, here's this piece of information. Do you remember it? And then you find out you're wrong, and you have such a strong emotional attachment to no. I'm right. It's hard to. It makes you think.
Well, hey, My grandmother and grandfather, my grandfather's from Mexico, and my grandmother was a migrant farm worker. And they took me to Mexico when I was 11. And when we were way south of Mexico City, and I firmly, completely remember us getting on a ferry and crossing a river in Mexico. Got on the ferry. I remember me and my grandfather getting out of the car, hunting, standing at the rail and just looking at stuff, checking it out. And I remember my grandfather, remember him smoking a cigar or something like that.
Delicious.
It was one of those cigarello things.
Yeah, I like those.
I like them too, but they got to be really, really good.
Correct.
Those cheap ones, man, are just horrible. They smell horrible. At the casino, they always. There's some people that like to smoke those, and my God, they're awful. They smell horrible. It's like you got to get the good ones. They don't smell bad. And besides, up in Canada, they say our cigarettes smell bad anyway. Just the regular old cigarettes, you know. And any tobacco from up there, man, it's just like it tastes good. It doesn't smell. It's unusual. Then you ever been to a Kentucky Fried Chicken up in Canada?
No.
It's like eating a home cooked meal. I kid you not.
Oh wow, really? So it's really good up there.
Completely different. Every restaurant that when I was up there, I was up in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. That's almost in the tundra, by the way. It's not too far from there. Because Saskatchewan is above Montana, and it's a very long province. And we stopped in a few cities on the way, and all the food is really high quality in anywhere you go. Because Canada has really strict laws about the quality of food.
Oh wow!
And so I couldn't believe Kentucky Fried Chicken up there was like eating home cooked meal.
Right, you have to put. You can only put high quality food in your mouth unless it's a hockey puck.
Yeah. So yeah, but in Mexico, I did not feel like a dream to me. I remember it as a memory, and I told my grandmother and grandfather about it, relating it, and they're like, my grandma was like, "Mija, we didn't cross no river on a ferry." And I'm just like, really? I remember it. And I mean, I really got adamant too that I remembered it.
Yeah.
And things like that, when you experience things like that, I think they're sort of like meetings of two different dimensions coming together, meeting and touching.
There could be something
where we have someone that's just like us that had that
slightly different experience, but very over the same topic.
Well, I think that certain timelines or alternate universes, or whatever you'd like to call them, I think that they intertwine. As in, let's say there's 4 different timelines and different stuff happens in the first 2, but they end up coming to the same point in time in 1980, and the same thing happens regardless. Right. Like, it didn't matter what happened previously. The same thing was going to happen anyways. I think that you get cut down from having those 4 universes to only 3, because the same thing is happening in those 2 universes. They're identical. I think the one just kind of either fades away or integrates, or whichever way you want to look at it.
So that's kind of like basically, you're getting to the same goal point or the end zone, but you might have different routes to take.
Right.
Aaron Kirshner was George Lucas' mentor. Yeah, he is the chosen one, the best director of Star Wars. Yeah, he is totally. Empire's.
Well, how old is this guy?
Irvin Kershner? He's old.
Yes.
He's old now.
Well, I mean,
because he was old.
He's
then.
Just as old as George, right?
No, I think he's older actually.
I know. I went to the theater to see Empire Strikes Back, but I remember Return of the Jedi more. And
Irvin Kershner died in 2010. He was born in 1923. He was old. He was old.
Yeah, he's pretty old if he's dead.
He's pretty old if he's dead.
Like you ain't even got to be that. You ain't even got to be old.
Well,
like,
I guess technically he's like ageless at this point.
Right.
There's no more aging.
But just think, 2010. He was what, in his 80s? He's born in 23?
23, yeah.
It's 23 to 9.
Your 70s. Yeah, somewhere 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
Because my dad was born in 39 and he was in his late 70s when he passed.
Yeah.
So he died, and then George is like, well, there's no saving Star Wars. Better sell it to the mouse for $4 billion.
No, he would have been like 90. Yeah, $4 billion, right.
So, yeah.
He died, and that was it. Sell it to the mouse. We got nothing.
He's like, I don't have my guy that smooths out all the rough edges anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Who's the writer? Who's the guy who did not Solo?
Oh, Jonathan.
Yeah, Kasdan. Lawrence Kasdan.
Lawrence Kasdan was the dad who wrote the original. Yeah,
right.
And it was like him and Jonathan
right?
wrote. Yeah, screenwriter. Yeah, script. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So he's not coming up with the ideas. He's just essentially turning it into recordable dialogue.
He has a pretty good influence over the script and some of the ideas. Yeah. Because he kind of, I think he had argued a little bit with JJ over Force Awakens, over the script.
Oh,
I think, yeah, because he has a pretty good amount of creative control as well.
Interesting. So they said, we're not dealing with the old guy anymore. Bring in his son. He won't argue with us.
Yeah. But man, and then Jonathan Kasdan came out on social media, with really very pro, agenda driven politics. A lot of people got very upset with him about that.
Yep. I mean, at least at very minimum, at least he didn't attack the fans like some other people at Lucasfilm. Because I thought he was going to. Like, he responded to me, John Kasdan, with his blue check mark on Twitter several months ago, responded to me, little old me, and I was like, son of a bitch, I really wanted to hate you, but this fucking response, like, I thought it was sarcastic at first, but then I heard from everybody else, and then people started making videos about it, about how he was responding appropriately to people's criticisms. I was like, apparently you're not a fucking asshole. That's why you don't work there anymore.
He had just said things about like Lando's character being, the whole pansexual thing and being very pro that agenda. But yeah, he never attacked fans. I never read anything or saw anything about him, in regards to that. It was just he had some pro agenda things about the pansexuality of Lando and, some of that crap they were pushing. But no, he never attacked fans. So. But so PB, what happened? I don't know about that story. What did you say? What did he say?
Gosh, I mean, I'd have to go back and look at the fucking tweet, and it's thousands of tweets old by now, I'm sure. It was something along the lines of, I didn't see the shit movie Solo with all of its terrible identity politics and everything. I watched the first 5 minutes, watched Han Solo crash a fucking car and said, nope, not my fucking pilot.
Okay, so what did he say?
You kidding me? You're going to have Han Solo crash at the beginning of the movie and that's supposed to draw me in? What the fuck?
And what was his response?
Oh my God. It was something like, I'm sorry that you didn't appreciate or that you didn't like my attempt at making a Star Wars movie. Like, it was just something real simple and relatively nice. And I was like, I thought that it was being a little sarcastic at first, that the way it was coming at it. I was like, oh, well, this is Rian Johnson saying it. He's saying your Snoke theory sucks. That's essentially what he was saying. And then, I got a little more context on it. I was like, oh, you're not an asshole. No wonder you're not working with these people anymore.
Yeah.
No, can you hear me?
Wait, are you on
There's two of you?
Screens at once?
Yep. There's two of me.
Have you
now.
been cloned?
I've been cloned,
So
yeah.
does that mean there are 6 of you then?
No.
Oh. The math doesn't come out then.
Yeah, I am on my phone.
Yeah, every person understood the hero's
honestly,
journey. Yeah, you're right, Hammer.
I don't know about you guys. I'm craving a cigarette.
How does cloning yourself help that?
T-Mobile, good old reliable signal.
I got you.
So he doesn't get the smoke in his computer. That's how it helps him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's had enough fan problems. My goodness.
Oh man, I got the right one.
It
had a yellow sticker, so it was really a crapshoot whether it was going to work or not. Seriously, I had doubts. I got
yellow sticker bad.
Because the one I pulled out, the one they showed, had the same sticker as the one I had on the OEM one, and the same brand name and everything. And this is completely different. But hey, it works. It's smooth. When I pull this thing up here, all right, I'm gonna turn turbo fans on.
Ooh, turbo fan.
I got turbo fans. It comes in handy when I'm rendering. Because what I have discovered that I can do, I use my power director not to make videos, but to make background effects, warp fill, stuff like that.
So the stars,
little magical bubbles that just will make little rings like in a pond, and they pop up all over the place.
So you'll just have 5, 10, 15 minutes of background effect that you can put the video over.
I don't even have to do that. I can make like a 2-minute clip, and then I bring it onto my phone. I use Power Director, and what I'll do is I figured out how to use it in the same way I use Power Director on my laptop, and because the first video thing up top, that's for your intro and your background effects. The next one down, that's where you put your video at. The little double square. And so that's where you put your video.
The whole time. Whoops.
And I slowly figured out how to use it. And once I started using it, I'm just like, wow, this thing makes 4K videos. 4K. And I just like I made a small little clip that was 4K. I'm just like, wow.
I mean, I would make 4K videos, but it'll take me 24 hours to upload it with my upload speed.
Well, I made a 4K clip, and it was just to test it out to see if I could make it. I think it was barely a minute long, and I did another one.
How big did it say the file was?
Oh, I think it was. It was the second one I did was a warp field, and that one was huge. It was like 500 megabytes.
Okay.
And I made a 4K warp field. So the warp field that I shared around, I think I made that available to everybody. So basically, I rendered the 4K, and then after I rendered it, I took that same video and brought it back in, and I made a high quality 720p one just for making the background effects. And I cut it down. I rendered it down into like a 1.5 minute, 2-minute clip. So that way, all you got to do is just keep adding until you have enough, and then you can adjust it to fit. You don't have to have it huge because the warp field is so seamless. You can't even tell that they're multiple.
Right, you can't tell that it's looping or anything.
Right. And you can and when you do that, you can change the color of each one through the color adjustments.
Oh yeah,
that's how I can get the red warp field, green warp field, And there's some preset little patterns in there.
Okay.
Like to get the red warp field, I used a particular colored strawberry. There's little pictures of strawberries, and I picked the reddest, darkest one, and I'd like that makes the red stars turn even redder. And then I go into the color adjustments, and I adjust it until it's just like really bright, popping red.
Just like the Jawa's eyes.
Yeah, as red. Yeah, exactly. We've
made it back to the original topic. Red sand
Yeah,
eyes.
bring it all back. Red sand.
Yeah, everything's jerk. Yeah.
Hack Fraud Media's The Last Straw 2-part series. No, Hammer, I have not either.
I've never even heard of that channel before.
No, I haven't either.
Who are they called?
Media. Hack Fraud Media. I'm gonna take a look right now.
I mean, I assume going by the title, it's about TLJ.
Yeah, it looks like it is. It's the first thing that pops up. The Last Straw Part 1. It's the Star Wars last. Yeah, that's what it is.
How long are these two videos?
Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's like an hour and a half. Part 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So they're Mauler length.
I'm subscribing right now. He's got 13.2K subscribers. So
so he's got a little bit of a following.
Yeah, his page is actually good. It's the Disney logo, the Magic Kingdom, like with the sort of aligned design, and it just says Hack Media in a Disney style, or Hack Fraud in a Disney style. It's pretty good. Oh, even his background is like the Lucasfilm logo, but it's Hack, and then the Disney with Fraud. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Nice.
Thank you, Hammer. I'll have to check those out for sure.
Oh, okay. See, I was wondering exactly what he just put in the chat. He said he based his channel on Red Letter Media.
Really?
Yeah.
Now you see that?
I think that's the third part of his background sign. The Red Letter Media logo. Yeah. That's good.
So yeah, you can see I got both fans running, and here's the bottom one. Before, when the other one wasn't, when it was installed, the one that had the wrong bottom number, this here wouldn't even register, and over here, the only time the heat there would register is when I would start messing with photographs. It would go up to about 38, 40 something. But it never really got hot as long as I had the main turbo fan on. And I was able to get the pictures and stuff like that without creating any risks. But I couldn't watch any video, and I couldn't live stream because it made things get a little hotter than it should. But It's got an operating temperature of 69 Celsius.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty effing warm.
Yeah, because right now my CPU is operating at 67 Celsius, and my GPU
I don't even
right
know
now
what that. I don't know what's the what is that in Fahrenheit?
It's 100 something.
Yeah, it's like 100 and.
Damn.
Oh, it's got to be like 130 or something.
Yeah, and I got my turbo fans on right now, and that will drop.
Like, put it this way, 100. I was gonna say 100 Celsius is 212. So, yeah, 152. Damn.
152.6. Yeah.
So I underbid. Yeah. Well, at least I didn't fall off the cliff.
Hot. That's some hot shit.
Hey, man, this is an MSI gaming laptop. They don't mess around.
Yeah, that's right. You got to have that kind of power for a gaming.
Right. And
power gaming.
It's got a Core i7. It's I think it's like 7th generation. It's basically a GE62 2QD Apache Pro. And let me tell you, the next model of this that's pretty much identical, it sells for like $1,600.
Oh,
I found one on
1600?
sale for $1,200, and so basically, I got one that doesn't have exactly a pretty wrapper. I had to do some working on it to get it the outside basically to open.
The only pretty wrapper out there is like a Twix wrapper.
True, but I could take that a step further. Peanut butter Twix. Yep.
Well, see, I need the caramel.
To bring it back to the Mandela effect, Kit Kat is another big one with whether it's hyphenated or not.
It's hyphenated.
That is depending on your reality.
Wow.
So
because it's not hyphenated, but I also remember
not, hey?
No, it's not. It never has been. But I also remember it being I remember it being hyphenated. I remember the little.
Swear to God, I remember it being hyphenated.
Yeah, me too. But it never has been in the reality we now live in.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Right now, next month it'll have been hyphenated the entire time.
The whole time. Yeah. And then we'll remember. No, wait, we remembered it was.
Man, it's
but
never.
Then
We talked about
you said
this.
No. Yeah.
Be like, no, I remember it being this other way. Go check the tape. We'll check the tape.
Nope.
The tape will be different.
Yeah, the tape is different.
Itself, basically, if you when you use your drop-down menu when you're using your mobile on StreamYards, very gently, because you know that little pull-down refresh on the browser.
Oh, it'll cut you.
There's no way to disable. Yeah.
Oh, I know it well with StreamYard. God damn it.
Yep. And after this, I'm probably not going to touch it again because I dimmed my screen.
Oh yeah, when the screen dims, and then you got to move it around sometimes, and then I'll see the little symbol come up, and then I'll go, okay, don't pull your finger off until you moved it back to an appropriate position, or you will kick yourself.
Yep. And
because StreamYards is not user friendly.
Not always.
Well, I should say not user friendly on mobile.
No, yeah, but they also have that warning that like it's still like experimental on mobile, so things might not be working properly.
But you see,
they do let you know
I make the desktop browser on my Samsung browser, and it takes a little bit of manipulating to make the desktop stay. Once you got to stay, I always keep that same tab. And because I'm in it now, I'm not in the mobile version. I'm in the desktop version on the Samsung browser.
On your mobile phone.
Right. I have a Galaxy S8 active. Basically, it's basically like a Note 9.
Like a tablet.
It's like a Note 9 basically without the stylus. That's how techie it is. Man, there's some really amazing stuff that I can do with this phone. I just realized the videos that I could just wow. Because the last few videos I've been rendering it on my phone.
Oh wow! See, I thought you had your laptop back.
Oh,
because
I do.
You got your fan. I thought you were making them on that.
I've been doing my screen recording with a laptop.
Oh, okay.
And then what I do is I processed it into an MP4 because for some reason the screen recording isn't recognized by my phone. And it's an MP4, which is...
That's weird.
Weird, exactly. And so, but the reason why I do that is because I can go in to the audio and I can add just a little bit of reverb, and I can make it sound like I am in a hallway or in a different setting. Okay. I can make it sound like a stadium, and I can also channel all the sound into surround sound.
Just as long as you don't make it sound like you're either Joe Buck or Troy Aikman.
Those names sound vaguely familiar.
Joe Buck. They're telecasters.
They are the #1 team for Fox NFL, and they suck.
Yeah. Well, Joe Buck's got his dad.
Exactly. That's the only reason why he's got the job he does. He doesn't even have a great voice when it comes to even baseball broadcasting. He's just mediocre.
Yeah.
But he's got the name Joe Buck, so he gets hired. And I don't know how to fuck Troy Aikman. Like, I look at it like this. Troy Aikman, for as good as a quarterback that he was when he played, he is inversely that good at being a commentator. Conversely to him, Tony Romo, for as bad as a quarterback as he was, playing literally the exact same position on the same team. They did the exact same fucking job, and now they do the exact same job, and he's been doing it. I think this is what, his third year? He's already 10 times better than Troy Aikman. It took him all of one game for me to notice that. I was like, this guy has not been commentating at all. He's already better than Troy Aikman. What the hell? Troy Aikman been doing it for a decade, and he's still an idiot. It's sad.
Yeah.
Like, Fox has not found anybody that is either as smart or as entertaining as John Madden.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It's hard to find a personality like that.
I mean, Tony Romo comes damn close.
Yeah. Madden was over the top, but that was like his whole thing.
He was. Like, I love Frank Caliendo's impression of him talking about Brett Favre. You could take away both of Brett Favre's arms and both of his legs, he'd still be the greatest torso in football.
Yeah.
Boom!
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to find a personality like that to,
Well,
try to close to like a Madden and be natural about it. Like, Madden was just natural. That was just him.
Exactly.
You tell your boys.
Tell us what?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
His clone was eliminated.
Leaving. I'm just going back to one account that's muted.
Barry, you're muted. I don't know if he's even back at his computer yet.
Hammer says, of course age matters. When producing reviews for 40-plus-year-old material, one should have been there to have experienced it for a proper analysis. I don't know if I entirely agree with that, because that means...
Degree.
What was that?
You get to a degree. I believe that's true. I think it can enhance your. Okay, here's what I think. I think it can enhance your explanation of it because you were there, so you have firsthand account. But it also could mean you were maybe a little more emotionally involved, where maybe not be able to detach yourself from that experience. So I think it's two-hand. Yeah, you were there, so you actually have an account that is, maybe verifiable because you experienced it. You were aware of the times. You knew, you had a better idea of the context. So that could be a helpful thing. But at the same time, you could be emotionally involved where you maybe are not able to detach yourself. So, yeah.
Right, because I don't think that it matters when a person is or isn't alive if you are exclusively reviewing the facts of a story. Like, this is what happened, this is what the characters are doing, does it or does it not make sense?
Yeah. From a story point of view, like just watching the film, no, it doesn't matter. It would only matter maybe culturally what it meant because you were there, so yeah.
Or for people nowadays, like a lot of people who are, let's say, teenagers or in their early 20s that would say, well, this movie's terrible. Look at those effects. It was made in 1977. It was awesome effects for 1977.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like, I was born in 80. So, the Beatles were well past their heyday, of course. But, I grew up, I didn't really even get into them until a little later on. I was in my mid-teen years when I got into them.
Me too.
I became a Beatle. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I became a Beatle fanatic. But, my aunt actually went to the concert in Pittsburgh in '64. So there's that like, well, you don't know, like it's like, oh, I mean, she loves that I love him, but it's like, oh, you can't imagine what it was actually like that, at the time. Like, so I can still appreciate their music the same way she does, but she has that benefit of like, but I was there, I know what the culture was like, so
right.
I don't have that perspective. If you talk about like that kind of like the whole vibe of everything. Where are you, Bear? Oh, you're outside.
Yeah. You should be able
He's in the darkness.
Well, that's the Big Dipper, I think.
Oh, I thought
I don't know if we can. I don't know if it's going to pick up on your camera.
Yeah, it's pretty bright.
Facing camera.
Also, here, Hammer said, also, most 25-year-old kids haven't even seen the vast majority of history of cinema by default. Yeah, that's true. They have not.
I mean, that's entirely true, but I don't need to see the worst movies of all time to tell you that The Empire Strikes Back is one of the best movies of all time, or that Dances with Wolves is one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to have seen everything. I mean, I do give a lot of credence to the people out there that have, they're in their 60s, they're in their 70s. They've been doing movie reviews for their entire adult life. It's what they do as a profession. So they have seen lots of movies. They know explicitly what's terrible. They know explicitly what's fantastic. And I would say the vast majority just sit in the middle someplace.
Yeah.
Like that's just how movies work out. Not everything is going to be at the level of, The Empire Strikes Back or the original Lion King, if we're talking like animated movies.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to talk about the new animated Lion King, because I will refuse to call it live action until I actually see some live action in that movie.
Yeah, it's not live action.
Definitely fills 32 out. Oh,
although
satellite
32 degrees. Eesh.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're actually colder there than I am, I think.
Well, here sometimes at night, if it's a clear night, it gets down.
Yeah, it gets really cold.
Yep, it's raining here.
That is freezing.
But you see, here when it rains all the time, it stays about 50, 48 degrees.
Because the cloud coverage.
Around here, we gotta watch. We gotta worry about black ice. They do a rock chip tar to the roads that are surface roads and the county roads, and basically they do it that way. It combats black ice.
Yeah, that's black ice is some dangerous stuff.
Man,
I've done a 180 on a highway because of black.
I used to be
a guardrail
in BFE south of here.
Ooh.
And I was over at a friend's, and keep in mind, man, out there, country blocks are fucking huge. Her house was like 5 or 6 miles across farmland on one side, and I was on this other side, and I was over her place. It took me about 45 minutes to an hour in first gear to get home because the black ice was that bad. I had to chip and break the ice off my vehicle to get into it, turn it on, let it warm.
Those are fun days.
Everything, and man, it was freaking scary. It literally, I did first gear, barely moving, all the way home because black ice everywhere. Because it started raining, and it was one of those freezing kind of rains.
Yeah, just immediately.
Yep.
There was like
see it.
On my vehicle, there was at least 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters of ice, and there was at least that or more on the road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, because then it just, as long as the ground is cold enough, it's just going to build up and build up and build up.
Well, and then if it snows on top of it, that's when it really gets bad.
Ooh.
You already can't see it, and then you got snow on top of it. Yeah,
because I got no problem driving in, a couple inches of just snow that's on the road.
Yeah, see, that's doable, but
yeah, you put that on top of the ice. It's like driving out on the lake.
Yeah. I drove through the Buffalo
during the winter too. We used to
winter
Salt Creek as a walkway. The Salt Creek would freeze solid, and we would be able to walk on that creek for miles.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, doesn't get northern Indiana, man. It gets freaking cold. We get them Canadian winds coming across the lake.
Yeah.
We got some people
Blasting.
ice fishing on Shawano Lake already.
I believe it.
I call them
well,
crazy.
I mean, it's mid-November.
It's not even deer hunting season.
But when does the ice usually freeze over? Is it doesn't freeze over this early?
I mean, it depends on how deep the lake is. That lake, I think the deepest point in that lake is like 12 feet or something. It's a very shallow lake, and it's very long. It's like 8 miles long. It goes from Cecil to Shawano. So it's a relatively large lake, but they didn't drive out on it or anything. People are just walking out on there with their little like pop-up tent or whatever thing for ice fishing, that type of stuff. Yeah. But going out there before December is crazy. Most of the lakes in the area don't have ice on them at all.
Wow.
Let me tell
like
you.
I don't go out on the ice before Christmas. I don't drive on the ice before January unless I hear from other people that have been out there and they go, "Oh yeah, you got 10 inches. You're good to go."
Just like you don't eat December snow. You got to wait till January. It's the best.
That's right. It's got to be fresh too. You can't trust anything that's sat there more than a day.
Yeah.
Well,
and nothing discolored, yellow tinted.
Right.
Stay away from that snow.
Eat the snow, because that snow's laced with steel mill pollution.
Didn't Hammer ask this question in the previous live stream?
What are your guys' favorite films? Top 5? Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, I wasn't in.
Well, he would have asked it before you showed up. Final.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Unless I think the question in the previous one was top 5 Disney films. That's what it was.
Soon that'll be.
I was able to do that. Top 5 films ever. Holy shit.
Top 5 films. Okay, It's a Wonderful Life is my number 1. God, top 5. Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. It's a Wonderful Life.
Probably Top Gun.
Oh, Top Gun, yeah. What do you think of the sequel?
I didn't see it, and I have not watched the trailer for it yet.
I think it comes out next year.
Oh, I need to see the trailer for it.
Yeah, check that out.
From what I can tell, it looks like it stays true to the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And they're turning Tom Cruise into the new Viper, from what I understand.
Yeah, that kind of looks like what the trailer. Yeah, I mean, I think the trailer looks like it's pretty much in line with what we would expect, what you'd want to see. So,
and then I would agree with you. Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is in there.
And then to go comedic route, movie that I watched a whole bunch, I would say Cool Runnings.
Oh, Cool Runnings. Okay, I'd say for me, yeah, you're right. We should probably do genres too. You gotta have one of every genre. So I would say The Jerk is my favorite comedy. It was Steve Martin's first movie.
Okay.
I watched that over and over and over. My goodness. I have to say probably for 80s, oh man, this is freaking tough. I've named 3. I mean, I could name like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's like my childhood right there. Also, Karate Kid. Man, Indiana Jones. It's tough. I mean, I put The Godfather in there. I mean, Hitchcock. I freaking love Rear Window. God, I don't know. Freaking tough. Halloween. For horror movies, Halloween 1 and 2, the original Halloween 1 and 2.
Interesting. See, I go the other route. My favorite, if we're going horror movie, I go with Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, yeah, well,
I have.
Oh yeah, the Dream
Warriors.
Dream Warriors. Yeah, Dream Warriors. Yeah.
You hear me?
That's the best of the Nightmare.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah, we can hear you, Bear.
All right. Now, okay, there's one movie that you guys are completely forgetting about.
Okay.
to be like, wow, could we forget that movie?
Okay.
Fanboys.
Fanboys. I would put that in my
Fanboys.
top 5 though, but that's pretty. Yeah.
Fanboys. I mean, it's gotta be in your arsenal. It just has to be.
Fanboys is a good. Yeah, it's a good. Fanboys is a good movie.
I thought he was gonna say Spaceballs.
Oh, Spaceballs would be. Yeah, that would
Like
be.
that. I think that's probably my favorite parody movie.
All right, right there.
Fanboys.
Fanboy.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. Look at these guys. Look at these characters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
let's see here.
Spaceballs. Oh my God, Ghostbusters! Holy crap, that would be in.
Oh.
I mean, that would.
Yeah,
be
yes, I
somewhere
have
too.
Ghostbusters.
I mean, I'd have to put that.
I mean, am I the only person on Earth that likes the second one better?
I like the second one, not better, but I like the second one. Hello there, CJH. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hail the Phantom Menace.
Hey. Of course, I got.
Yeah, I mean, I like
quite a few
Ghostbusters
strong-
too, but not better.
I got both. Now, what am I looking for? Okay, yeah.
No, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Graham-
Like, there's just so many freaking.
I got Grandma's Boy director's cut.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you got
Superman
penguins.
1.
I like the
Superman 1.
penguins.
Back to the Future. Superman 1 is in my top 5.
Right, Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
I
is
got-
up there. Superman 1 is in my top 5. The Christopher Reeve. That's definitely.
I got the.
I mean, 1 and 2, but let's say just 1.
I got this with it.
Yeah, I have that on Blu-ray. That bundle.
I also have special edition Superman motion picture. That's 3 hours long.
Oh, nice! Wow, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta put Superman. That's in my top 5. So I don't know. I've probably named like 10 in my top 5 now.
It's a great top 5.
Yeah, right.
It's always nice when you got to cram more than 5 into top 5, though.
Yeah. Well, it shows
Right.
your passion.
These are wonderful American problems that we have.
Yeah, I like cram 10 movies into a top 5.
Oh, CJH. I was supposed to get my hail in before that. Now it looks like I said hail to that. Oh, man. I didn't. No, Man of Steel. He lets his father get killed by something that he could prevent. It's
And
ridiculous.
let's not.
His father's supposed to get killed by like heart disease or something.
Right, something he was unavoidable. With all his powers, he couldn't save him. That was the whole. Yeah, I know. I agree. Him getting sucked in a tornado. It's like, what? You're Superman. You can literally stop the tornado with your breath and save your dad. Or super speed yourself. I mean, who cares what the rest of the town thinks? It's your freaking dad that's his life's on the line. Oh, your secret's getting out. Who gives a shit? Your secret's getting out anyway, eventually. Like, save your freaking dad. Yeah, I know. I agree. That was a dumb way for him to die. It had to be something that he could not
And
help.
how many people are going to notice? You're getting hit by a tornado. They're not going to remember this one guy who ran over there. They'll be like, wait, did that just happen? No, it couldn't
people sensationalize, they sensationalize the thing. Oh yeah, I'm sure Clark Kent went flying into a tornado. Okay, with all the
he flew in, he pulled his dad out, he just ran out of the tornado, no problem. It was great.
Yeah, we're gonna send you to a psychiatrist now. We've got a doctor.
Yeah, I have first and the second Ghostbusters.
Hey, there's the new
we're
other.
Preparing your bed at Arkham right now.
Yeah, we've got you a nice Dr. Arkham right now.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Grandma's Boy unrated, you got to, because that should definitely be in your top 10 list.
Oh, Grandma's Boy. Oh, I do love that movie. I've watched that a lot on repeat. A lot. Like, that is a movie that I could watch, get to the end of it, and then if you're watching a VHS, you'd have to rewind. But if you're watching DVD, you can just fucking hit play again, man. I could totally just watch it twice in a row.
I just saw on your list there Groundhog's Day too. I mean, Groundhog's Day. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
that's another one.
A good one.
I could watch that over and over. So that means
Bill Murray's got 2 spots on your top 5.
I think he's very deserving of two spots. I don't know if it's top five. No,
so then what
I would
about
say
Caddyshack?
Ghostbusters is top 5. Groundhog's Day is, in my favorites list, but not top 5. Ghostbusters, yeah. I'd say that's top 5. Caddyshack's great too. I mean, I love his his whole speech, but I'd put Ghostbusters still above that. Yeah. So I don't know. What am I? I've got It's a Wonderful Life, Empire, Ghostbusters, Superman. What am I putting?
I mean,
number 5.
Are you going to keep The Dark Knight off the list?
Yeah, it's not top 5. I put Batman, the original Batman with Keaton above that.
Ooh, you're a Keaton person.
Oh, yes. Yeah, big time.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
It just got said in the chat, too.
What did?
Batman 89.
Oh, Batman 89. Yeah, I'd put that above, yeah. That's my
But
favorite.
I don't know what the
Batmans.
Bill Murray, Chris Rock movie is about the germ thing.
What's the Bill Murray, Chris Rock movie? I don't know.
I didn't know that they were even in a movie together. What?
Yeah, I don't know what. I'm not sure.
Like, is it one of his weird ones, like The Life Aquatic?
No, I don't know. Chris Rock's.
I watched that movie one time. Don't need to see it again.
Yeah, I like the movies he does with Wes Anderson, like Rushmore. He's fantastic in it. Life Aquatic. Some people really love that one. I wasn't as big of a fan of.
Or
that.
didn't he also do what is it? Lost in Translation?
Yeah, well, Lost in Translation is great. That's not Wes. That's Sophia Coppola. But yeah,
okay.
That's a great movie. Yeah, he's really good in that too.
Well, hello. Warning. Fair use.
Boy review.
Review. This is what Bear Video Nerd Fun production.
So smooth and
Boy
welcoming.
Likes boy situation.
2, 3.
Like I'm walking into like a massage parlor.
This was made on Microsoft Movie Maker. Not a lot, but the views in this movie pick off here in about 10 or 15, about 5 seconds. So,
I'm not certain.
I put a lot of work into
CGH.
I mean, here's the spoiler warning. There's Grandma's Boy tab. This is a great movie. Well, Grandma's Boy, 2000, Joshua played by Jonathan Longren. The roommate spent all the rent checks and a message Alex don't know yet. Something's gonna happen.
Take your glass smoking device too.
It's a nerd. Shoe drops. Alex's roommate gets him kicked out. Oh boy. Urge nerd kind of movie. Grandma's Boy 2006. Josh played by. Oh, did I break your water glass flower vase? Nick Swanson as Jeff saves Alex's bacon. Way to go, Jeff, saving his bacon. Sure can dig, that's for sure. Dude, you have a car bed.
So did you get this music off of YouTube as well?
Yep. Interesting. Jeff's mom walks in on Alex. Boy, what a conversation.
Great scene.
Yeah.
I can't finish.
Sure. That's really embarrassing, boy. Girl wakes boy up. Boy takes notice.
See, Hammer did a short top 5 too.
Future boss.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Wonderful Life on there. Nice. Yeah, Godfather. Yeah. See, I was considering Godfather too. That's,
well, you gotta have Meatballs part of your top 5.
No, Meatballs is good too. Oh, no. I know what my number 5 is. I know what it is. Godfather's close, but my number 5 is Manhattan. Woody Allen. I'm a big Woody Allen.
Okay.
That's gonna be number 5.
Yeah, still thinking what Alex did with his action figure.
Yeah, Godfather is shining.
Oh, he asks us for a top 5, but then he's giving a top 10. I see how you changed the goalpost on us.
Champ win, JP in the back. Monkey's kicking my
It's a tricky hammer.
Yeah, see, I gave a top 5. It had 10 movies in it, but it was still my top 5.
Right. Like the title of the video is still top 5.
Alex's specialty, if you know what I mean.
5 honorable mentions.
He lurking and plotting in invisible, just waiting to plan his dastardly plan. JP planning something sinister.
I mean, he didn't pick any movies that are horror movies, unless you count
The Shining.
Apocalypse Now as a horror movie.
No, he put The Shining though.
I mean,
Cheers.
Well, The
do
Shining's
you
a
count
horror.
that as horror?
Yeah.
Or do you count Thriller as horror?
No, but it's The Shining has ghosts. And it's like kind of possessed, and there's the blood spewing, and he's seeing like demonic little twin girls, and he turns into a raging maniac. I'd say that's a horror movie. It's a thriller, but
Fair
it's
enough.
still scary.
No,
horror.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, I liked Meatballs so much I made 2 reviews.
Yeah, Meatballs is a great movie. That's
Why do I not know what Meatballs is?
Oh, Meatballs.
Oh my goodness.
Bill Murray plays the gym teacher in the '80s high school. Isn't it like it? What's her name's in it too? From Sex and the City, Kim Cattrall. She's like the
Oh, Samantha,
yeah, Samantha. Yeah, I think she's in. I think she's
that
in
bitch. Not that
That-
Kim Cattrall is a bitch. Samantha is a bitch.
character,
Let's
yeah.
clarify that. I don't have a problem with Kim Cattrall specifically. I could care less. But that character in the show, at least from what I had seen from, I don't know, I'm pretty sure my mother had watched every episode. I was like, why do you watch this show? I don't get it. She's like, I don't know. I like it. I was like, okay, well, you're a lady and I'm not, so.
PB, this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to check out Meatballs. It's a classic '80s again, like
I guess.
one of those '80s cult movies.
Yeah, I had a little bit of an echo there.
Oh, it's actually 1979. Yeah, so it's actually pre-'80s. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie here, man, great movie. This is one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
So it's
All the
so
other
good
ones.
that it probably wouldn't be able to be made today, correct?
Yeah, no, it definitely
Exactly.
not be.
No.
Definitely not. Will not be able to be made today. Also, on
Oh,
the
no.
same note, if we're talking, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, the movie Stripes, again, a great, classic 1981 classic movie. You guys know that movie, Stripes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've
Mhm.
watched that one from cover to
Yeah.
cover.
It's like they're in the army. It's him and Harold Ramis, who plays, Egon in Ghostbusters.
Right.
And they enlist in the army, and are obviously not very good with anything having to do with the military. Yeah,
That's one I don't own that one yet. But what I like to do is I like to find them either on DVD, Blu-ray, and then upgrade it to a digital copy on Vudu. $2 for Blu-ray for HD.
Yeah, it's
And I'm going to ask a totally off-the-wall question that comes from, well, not totally off-the-wall because we're talking about movies. What is your favorite Pauly Shore movie?
Ooh, Encino
We
Man.
got 3 in mind.
Encino Man. Biodome's close, but Encino Man.
Ooh.
Oh, the one
And then what was
Christmas
the other
movie
one?
he
The
made.
Father-in-law.
You father-in-law.
No, son-in-law.
Or son-in-law. You're right. Son-in-law. And in the army now.
In the army now.
I'd
but
say father-in-law in the army now.
I put Biodome and Encino Man ahead of that.
Interesting. I definitely put Biodome at the top. I don't know how many times I've watched that movie.
Biodome's good, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I love every character in that movie. Every single one. People that are in the dome, people that are out of the dome. I love all of them.
Yeah.
They all do their role perfectly.
There was a good a video that someone made which compared Biodome to like what would have been like Bill and Ted, like a Bill and Ted-esque ripoff of like what the third movie could have been for Bill and Ted, and it would have been like Biodome. 'Cause I guess they made a lot of comparisons to the characters, but it was pretty interesting. But now they're actually doing a Bill and Ted 3, so which I'm super psyched about because it's the original writers. They're doing it. And I know Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter have wanted to get this movie done for a long time. Oh my God! See, Bill and Ted. I that was in my top 5 originally. Now I can't decide. It's too much.
But you haven't. But what movies won't you move out of the top 5?
I won't
You're not
move
moving
out.
Empire out.
Yeah, I'm not moving Empire out. I'm not moving It's a Wonderful Life out.
Okay. See, I can do without It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, for me, that's a must.
Like to me,
5.
that's one of those classic movies that you either love it or you don't necessarily hate it, but you just don't care about it at all.
You're like indifferent to. Yeah. I agree.
I've never come across somebody that says, I hate that movie, it's terrible. I just come across, well, it's a movie, people like it around the holidays.
Right. Yeah.
And then you go, oh, well, you don't care about the movie. You're like, no, I don't. Like,
Yeah.
my version of a Christmas movie is Die Hard or Iron Man 3.
Yeah, Die Hard. Iron Man 3 is now in that category.
It's totally a Christmas movie, and you will never change my mind.
I'd have to watch Iron Man 3 again because I don't know how much it revolves around Christmas. But I mean, Die Hard.
So what
explicitly revolves around Christmas?
Okay.
What crime movie would you use?
Crime movie?
Crime?
Goodfellas.
Ooh.
I mean, Godfather. Well, maybe Godfather, probably. Actually, probably Godfather, but Goodfellas.
I might have to go back a ways and rewatch some older stuff. The one that popped into my head right off the top was The Departed.
Yeah. That would be in
like the most recent one because it was a remake, right?
Yeah, of a Japanese or Korean movie.
Okay. So then the American version. The one where Mark Wahlberg wins.
Yeah, it's a Departed, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's every movie he's in.
That's true.
Mark Wahlberg always wins. Oh, shit. I mean, Rocky would... Oh, God, see, Rocky would be in my top somewhere in there. I mean, not...
See, that's an entire franchise that I could probably do without.
Oh, no way. I couldn't. I mean, but, then again, like, I grew up on those movies, so...
That movie right there, Payback.
Oh, Payback. Yeah. I mean, I used to love Braveheart. That used to be in my top. I used to put that in my top.
Crime movie? I used to watch Eraser over and over again.
Yeah, the gun. I thought that gun was so cool. Terminator. I mean, the T2.
That's what I was like. I was like, you got the Terminator playing a cop or whatever. He's, some kind of version of a cop.
That like futuristic gun that like could see through.
That gun was awesome.
Yeah, see through walls and just shoot.
No, and I never forget the that fancy grenade they toss in, and then he has to pull his hand off of the spike from the freezer or fridge or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
that's the director's cut. The director cut of this is the best.
Gosh.
How long is the director's cut?
90 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, Sorcerer. Okay.
Yeah, I'd never heard of Sorcerer.
And Thief. I don't know Thief. Sorcerer I've heard of, but I don't think I've ever seen Sorcerer. Thief I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of Thief. Quentin Tarantino said it was one of the best films ever made.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty high praise, but I don't know how much I can listen to these people that are making films when you have somebody like Martin come out and say that the MCU isn't actual cinema. Well, what the fuck is cinema, guy? Because I would bet that everybody who ever made a silent movie would say that every Martin Scorsese movie ain't fucking cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great
this
one.
movie?
Italian Job?
Yep,
That's a good one.
The original with Michael Caine, yeah.
That's the original?
Another guy that
Yeah, it's the original.
Michael Caine's
The
another
one
guy
that doesn't have Mark Wahlberg.
winning in it.
Great movie. There's so many great movies out there.
It is a great movie. Yeah, Michael Caine, the original Alfie with Michael Caine, also great. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Michael Caine and Steve Martin, freaking fantastic. I love that movie.
Okay, so are there any movies in the last 20 years that even come close to making it on the top 10 on this list?
the last 20 years. So
Well,
1999.
let's just say from the year 2000 to now to make it easy.
Or yeah, okay, from 2000 to now.
Like we're at the end of 2019. That's 20 years.
Yeah. They're in my top 10.
They're also talking about making another 48 Hours.
Oh
wow, really?
Yep.
I mean, they've been talking about Beverly Hills Cop forever as well. Top 10 last.
I recently
years.
acquired that one, the original.
Oh, Escape from LA.
There's only two that stick out in my mind.
I mean, it's Dark Knight would be, if you're not top 5, but that's definitely in there.
Right, we're just talking about the conversation that you have to have with yourself when making the list.
I would say Casino Royale or Skyfall.
Oh,
I'm a huge Bond fan,
interesting.
So I think, because that kind of reinvigorated the franchise. So I think maybe Casino Royale. I mean, I love Skyfall equally as much. I think they're both, really great. So I maybe have to put one of those in there. Yeah, Quantum of Solace not as good. I mean, I still liked it because it's, but
I kind of liked it because the scene where he's tied in a chair where he's getting hit with a knotted rope in the
that's Casino Royale.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that scene was like, oh crap! I've never seen torture like that. But Bond's like his reaction and his like having that comedy through it. Like, you're not going to break me no matter what. That was what sold me. I was like, man, this is Bond. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would definitely have the Dark Knight in that conversation.
Knight, yeah, I would agree. That would be in there.
I could have Infinity War in that conversation.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, the whole MCU. Infinity War would be in there. Yeah, that would be absolutely in there. Yeah, that would absolutely.
I've already made my list. I still have Infinity War at the top of the 22 or 23 movies now. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, somewhere in there.
But I mean, outside of that,
I mean, Joker's pretty great. I have to watch.
It is pretty great. I need to watch it at least a dozen more times before it can be put in that category.
And if I don't watch it a dozen more times, then it's not in that category because it doesn't have that. Exactly.
Yeah. It's got to be one of those movies that you either have the urge to watch it over and over again, and when when we make it to that point in the future or whatever, when you're flipping through channels and it just happens to be on, you get yelled at from the wife because why are we watching this? Why aren't we watching a show right now? I'll be like,
have you seen this version of Superman?
No.
Well, no, this is the 3-hour one. I don't know if I have, but okay, this is another movie would not move out of my top 5.
This isn't the actual complete 3-hour one. That one is the special version made for TV.
Oh,
that's over
this
3
one
hours
is the
long.
Snyder cut.
This one's 151 minutes. So it's just a little under 3 hours.
I don't know if I have it. Well, I have to look at the one I have currently on Blu-ray that came in the box set. It might be that one, but I'm not 100% sure.
So 120 minutes is 2 hours.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have
So it's 2 hours and 31 minutes.
I have the DVD for the Richard Donner's cut, as well as the original release of Superman 2. Because they did like the release of Snyder's cut, they did a Richard Donner cut because he filmed like half the movie. So and they used some like screen footage, test footage, and they audition footage to kind of piece together some of the scenes that he wanted to originally have in the movie. And I've got that version of Superman 2 as well. Yeah, Superman's. So I would not move. So I wouldn't move Empire, Superman, and It's a Wonderful Life. Those 3 are staples, and then it gets kind of tough of what I put in there and what I don't.
Interesting. I mean, those at least 2 out of those 3 I can definitely agree with.
Yeah.
There's Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
I don't know why it didn't show up in crime.
Yeah, I mean, you think Bond movies? I guess
Well,
I guess
the
I
other
think crime family. More
the
action.
other
I mean,
Bond
it's a
movie was in
totally
the
Definitely
crime
being
section.
crime. He works
This
for
one was in the
MI6.
action center.
Yeah, but he prevents crime.
Right.
He stops crime.
Here you
I guess
go.
it has to be focused on like the protagonist. Yeah. Oh, those. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I bought those also. That box set on Apple on the high def. Apple had I think after the Rambo movie came out, there was they had a deal like you get the whole box set, like all the movies for like $20 on high definition. So I got that. Like that's a freaking good deal. $20 for all the Rambo movies. Aside
Fucking
from
A, if they all were up converted into HD.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Because what?
Yeah.
There's 6 or
There's
7.
yes. No, there's 4. Well, I think now there's 6. It was Rambo 1,
Now
2,
there's
3.
6.
No. Now there's 5.
Oh,
There's just 5. Rambo 1, 2, 3, and then Rambo was like the one from 2006, and then the newest one. So there's 5. Now Rocky, there's 6. If you count Creed, there's 8.
okay.
Creed 1 and 2.
Right.
It was Creed 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
yeah.
I think there's 8. Yeah. There's Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 was Rocky Balboa, and then he came back. 7 and 8 were the Creed films. And he says he's not done. He says he has a really good idea for one more Rocky film where it's not going to be a Creed. It's going to be Rocky.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
He says he's got a really good idea. It's not going to be like him back in the ring or anything like that.
It'll be him killing a bunch of Mexicans. Oh, wait, they did that already.
Rocky meets Rambo.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta read this message from Hammer in the chat. He says, Joker is great, but know that without Taxi Driver, Thief, and Sorcerer, it wouldn't exist. You forgot about Batman.
Well, and without the King of Comedy, because Joker was definitely a tribute to the Scorsese movie King of Comedy with Robert De Niro, in which Robert De Niro plays a wannabe talk show host, and as a little tribute to that, he plays a talk show host in The Joker. So it's kind of like the completion of his sort of story that Scorsese started with King of Comedy. So yeah, King of Comedy and Taxi Driver were the 2 main influences for Joker.
Right, and he got what he fucking deserved.
Yes, he did, which was a great scene. I knew that was coming, but it was still like cool to watch it happen. I knew that was coming. I was sitting there watching. I'm like, he's gonna kill him on live TV. It's like this is obviously what's gonna happen. So it happened. I was like, oh shit, they actually did it. Cool.
I knew it was coming. I guess I thought it was going to be more protracted. Like, hey, I'm going to pull this gun out and people are going to think that I'm joking, like I'm telling a joke, like how the Joker always pulls a gun out and bang.
It's a water gun.
Flag.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the joke if you're a Joker person. Like that's what you would be expecting. You're like, oh, he's pulled the gun out and he's waving it around, but he hasn't fired it. He hasn't fired it. And now he's going to pull the trigger and you're going to see this, flag pop out the end. And that's going to be the joke because he's a Joker. And he does it over the quarter of or what, 3/4 of a second. Boom. And it's over with. And I was like, oh, shit, I guess that's the end of that conversation.
Yeah, he won.
Like I wasn't expecting it to be so fast.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. You think it would be the gag, the joke, string them along.
Right.
Boom, it's actually real. Yeah. Yeah, they did go right for the throat.
And then, I mean, I watched the 11-hour episode of EFAP. I don't think that I finished it. I watched most of it where they were talking about it's Jenny Nicholson or Nichols. I can never remember her last name.
I think it's Nichols.
Okay. And they're taking her review apart because that's what they do on EFAP. Like that's the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
And she goes, here's some unironic commentary of somebody watching the movie live. Like it's the first time they've ever seen it. And in that scene, like it goes off and you hear somebody in the crowd go, that was fantastic. When I hear that, like before Mahler even cuts it off, I thought the exact same thing. Like I hear the guy say it, and I was like, yeah, that was a fantastic scene. And they come back, and Rags goes, yeah, that was a fantastic scene. I don't see the problem here.
Oh, Jenny Nichols. Okay, yeah, Hammer said Jenny Nichols' son. So it's Nichols' son.
Nicholson, okay.
Nicholson, yeah. Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I need more time with any movie that came out like this year. I would need more time with to let you know how it sits on the all-time list. Like, I didn't see any movies this year that are on the all-time bad list. Not even Captain Marvel is on the all-time bad list. It's on the all-time boring list for a freaking superhero movie.
Man,
how are you going to make a movie called Captain Marvel and the star of the movie is either a cat or a green guy?
Yeah.
Like, I thought all of the best scenes in that movie were Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh yeah, he's good and all. He's really good.
And obviously, you can't tell that it's him when he's underneath all of the Skrull makeup. So I didn't know that it was the guy from Rogue One, right?
Yeah.
He plays Krennic.
Yep. He was also in the what's the movie that was made off the book, the video game one? My brain is too slow right now. Player One.
Oh, see, I haven't seen that one yet. Ready Player One?
Ready Player One. Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn plays the villain in that too.
Okay.
Oh, Hammer said previous comment. King of Comedy is fantastic, but stylistically, Joker's more Taxi Driver, Thief, and Sorcerer, Dark Noir. Yeah. It definitely is. Stylistically, it's more Taxi Driver because he goes on his kind of anti, culture and starting kind of a movement. Yeah, it's definitely Taxi Driver in that sense. But it gets a lot of King of Comedy influence.
I'm surprised that you didn't just read that comment to yourself.
Okay. No, I've learned from Justin Proper's mistakes.
Well, he didn't. He just said previous comment, please, good sir. It doesn't even say to read it or even read it out loud, no less. And you're like, oh, he wants me to read this out loud. Like,
I'm a mind reader. I know what it's like being in
California. That's the improper one.
Yeah, that's the improper one. I'm from the East Coast originally. I get this stuff.
Well, he's from frickin' Ohio.
Oh, and he has no excuse.
Yeah, that's why when we were all looking on Twitter earlier, I seen that he responded to John Talks because John broke 50,000 subs.
Oh, yeah.
And he put a tweet out there, and he said, congratulations, my Michigan friend or Michigan son. He put Michigan in there for whatever reason. So I commented off of Justin, and I said, Justin hates Michigan. And that was it.
That's funny. My Michigan friend. Yeah, he's from Ohio? Because they're sort of kind of close. My United
they hate each other.
Pal.
I was like, I don't know. I think that game is this Saturday between Ohio State and Michigan. I don't remember when it's supposed to be. Maybe they didn't play this year because of the way the Big Ten schedule works. But Michigan and Ohio do not like each other.
Huh. It's funny that he put that.
Yeah, he had to put that in there. I was like, well, I guess if you know John enough, you'd be able to understand he was from Michigan. Like, he doesn't bring it up in every video or anything like that. He's not like, oh yeah, the weather's great in Michigan today, but Star Wars is being stupid.
Every now and then he's mentioned it, but yeah, it's it's funny.
Right, like he's a Lions fan, so he has my sympathy.
Oh man, yeah.
They've won.
How much for him to root
I don't know his exact age, but I'm pretty sure they've only won 2 playoff games or 1 playoff game his entire life.
Yeah,
that's a sad existence. But then again, I'm spoiled rotten because in reality, I've only had 2 real starting quarterbacks. Granted, Aaron Rodgers got hurt a couple times and other people have had to come in, but we haven't like been searching for another person like the Browns. Well, they're not searching at the moment, but they've been searching ever since they were recreated. And we're like, we're going to take Tim Couch.
Yeah, I had a very tough childhood, but my adult years have been very kind with Big Ben. But yeah, the childhood was really rough. It was a tough childhood because you have, like Terry Bradshaw, and then he retired. So he was right kind of before, I was born. Well, he won his last Super Bowl the year I was born. And then we had like a string of the 80s were terrible. The 90s were not that great. We went to the
90s were okay.
Lost. Yeah, they were okay. We had some stuff going there. And then it went kind of back downhill until Big Ben came in, and then things turned around. But yeah, it was a rough childhood. Rooting for especially in the 80s as a kid, man. We had no hope after coming off of like the 70s, and then they won the last Super Bowl they won was the year I was born. It was like the month
coming off the 70s for a Steelers fan had to been terrible. Like for being a Packers fan. Like my father was born in the 50s. He's born in 51.
Man,
so the Packers were real good. They were real good. And then 60s, he left to go to 60s. Washington, and they sucked.
That was it.
30 years or almost 30 years. And then Ron Wolf got in, and he's like, you know what we need to do? We need to trade for that guy that can throw the ball a country fucking mile. That's in Atlanta. We need to bring him here. We need to go get that 300-pound black guy in Philadelphia because he can run a 40 in like 4.5, and that's all we needed.
Yeah,
like I can remember a lot more people on that defense than just Reggie White, but Reggie White is the linchpin that kept that entire team together. Like I'd never seen a 300-pound man, like even still today in today's NFL, 20 years later, you don't see 300-pound men that could move like that.
Yeah, no. 300 pounds? Yeah, no.
Like 300 pounds, and you can catch Barry Sanders on the angle that he decided to take?
Yeah. Spur of the moment kind of decision.
Like that kind of stuff is crazy.
On its opening day, yes. Okay, but the first movie I ever remember seeing in the theater was Return of the Jedi. And it came out in 83. I was 3, but it was re-released in 84, in the summer of 84. And my dad took me to see it on the re-release. So I remember that was the first movie I ever saw. I remember seeing in the theater was Return of the Jedi in 84, the year after when it was re-released, the year after. Yeah.
Gosh, I'm a 90s kid, so I'm sure the first movie that I remember seeing is whichever one came out first between either Aladdin or The Lion King.
Aladdin was first.
When Disney made good original cartoons, even though, Lion King's not original, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean,
the Black Cauldron.
They stole the story of Aladdin from somewhere in fucking Yemen, too.
I'm a fan of the Black Cauldron because of the animation they used.
Ah, right. Yeah, they don't. Apparently, I heard they might be going back to doing the, what the heck was that? The slide animation?
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I don't like the, not everything is meant to be a 3D animation. Not everything is Toy Story.
Yeah, the computerized, yeah.
Right. I don't want to see everything look like that. Imagine The Lion King, but it looks like that.
Right. There's something with the colors you get from, the actual art. Just the tone of the movie that is just kind of timeless.
Because even like the humans, they have their own like design to them where like they're oblong shaped almost. Mm-hmm. Like they're not perfectly, what do I want to say? They're anthropomorphized a little bit. Like their arms are extra skinny, their necks are extra skinny, stuff like that. But it works in that animation style because you're supposed to be featuring things that aren't alive.
Right. Yep.
So that's the whole point.
Looks like I found a troll on Facebook.
Oh, geez.
Yep. In official bounding in the comics, looks like Kevin Davies is a troll, so his comment got hidden.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't respond.
Well, that's when you know you made it.
Yeah. Oh, I've been getting like 3 or 4 a month.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Nice.
Out of Facebook.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's real reassuring, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody likes a quality troll. I was just alerted to, what is it, Darth Kitty Cat Jr. on Twitter.
Darth Kitty Cat Jr. I don't know about
That's the new one that I was told, like, she's sent out to infiltrate the fandom menace and
she
destroy us from the inside.
Yeah, she's like sleeping with Jeremy and all this stuff. The sexual harassment one.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God! Do you want to know what's funny about that? Because
she was
do
following
not have
me.
a personal relationship with Jeremy, but from the amount of work that he gets done and the amount of time he spends on the internet, he does not have time to be cheating with anyone.
That's right.
Like,
he's
where's
on
the
screen all
time?
the time. Yeah, that's good.
He's like, I wake up, I go for a bike ride, and then I go on the internet. Like, I remember last summer, I think it was, maybe it was this summer, when he's like, yeah, I was out riding my bike, and then I got this information. I thought that he was joking for, comedic effect in the video, and then come to find out, no, he actually likes, going out and going for a bike ride like every day, every other day, or whatever. I was like, that is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's who this Darth Kitty person is. Yeah.
Yeah, she was following me.
Oh,
and
really?
As soon as I seen it, I'm like, why does that sound familiar? So I went looking, and I'm like, holy shit. Unfollow, block immediately.
Yeah, you gotta block that. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. And basically, for me, there needs to be at least 2 to 4 people following and following everyone else in both columns.
Yeah. I screen who follows me to see, like, okay, is this some spam account or is this someone who actually is in the community? Yeah, I don't.
And
everyone.
I experienced the cam bot. They sent.
Oh yeah.
The cam bot sent me. They followed me first. I'm like, this girl really looks suspicious. So I followed back just for an experiment. It's like immediately got a reply back with a naked woman painted gold. And go to that link site. I'm like, thanks for the free nude picture. Unfollow, block.
Her best Goldfinger cosplay.
Yeah. And naturally, I screenshotted it,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Just people are going to put dumb stuff on the internet. We're going to screenshot it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I know that's what Jessie Milestone says she does. She's like, yeah, I don't retweet people. I screenshot the stupid thing that they said, and then I just tweet it out.
Oh, yeah. That's just so they don't get the publicity.
Right. And I was like, I don't really care about, like, retweet with a comment doesn't help in your Twitter ratio. So, you just don't want to alert the person with putting it in their notifications.
Yeah, I would. Right. They would, like, notify them. Yeah.
Because that's all it comes down to, unless, I'm missing something. I don't hail to be the expert when it comes to social media. That's for fucking sure. Damn. Like, it's real intricate. What goes up on the homepage, what you see, what you don't. Because you'll see something and it'll be like 2 other people that you're following or are following you like this or whatever it is. It's just a random fucking tweet, a picture, and somebody said something funny. You're like, well, why are you showing me this? I don't have that person set to notifications. Like, it's not in my notification thing. Why is it on the homepage? Why are you showing it to me here? Because everybody else around it has like 20, 30, 40, 50 likes on a post. This one has 2. So I don't know how the Twitter algorithm works at all.
Yeah, you would think if other people, maybe enough of your followers liked it, but if it's only got like 2 likes, yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Right. Like I have no idea how the trending topics influence
Yeah,
it at all.
look what Hammer says. 1982 Tron on 70mm film is the best
Mm.
Disney experience ever made. What say
Mm.
you, gentlemen?
I
I've never seen
say
it on 70
that
millimeter.
he's incorrect because it's not in 3D.
But the Neutron movie they're working on, I guarantee that'll be in 3D.
I'm
But
a
yeah,
huge, I'm
I've
a
never
huge
seen it in
fan of
70
3D
millimeter.
when it comes to something that's going to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
Like the first Guardians of the Galaxy, there are several explicit scenes. Like the very beginning, when he's jumping towards the camera with everything blowing up behind him, that
yeah,
is designed and shot for the 3D effect. Whereas, same actor in Jurassic World, when what's the frickin' giant dinosaur that they have underwater? I don't remember the name of it,
Oh,
but you know what
yeah,
I'm talking
it's,
about.
yep, I know
That
what you're talking
giant
about.
ass
The
frickin'
giant
alligator
whale ass.
thing.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So when it jumps up out of the water and splashes the crowd, when you're
Yeah.
watching that, you would assume that water splashing, you're going to do a,
Yeah.
reverse
Come at
angle
you.
of the water splashing at you. So you're going to,
Yeah.
jump a little bit or put your hand up
Right.
because it's the 3D effect. No, the water splashes sideways on the screen.
Yeah,
So
you
if
know
you're
that's
going to
like
waste the 3D effect, because the depth of the screen is always there, and I appreciate it, especially when it comes to a movie like Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Like the depth of showing me how small the Falcon looks when you're zoomed out doing this turn when they were in the dog fight, because that was one of the things I wanted out of it. I wanted a 3D Star Wars movie because I'd never seen one before at that point.
Mhm.
Like I didn't see any of the other ones that they released or re-released in 3D. I'd never seen that in the theater. And I know that the technology, maybe it's not perfect, but it's damn close to perfect when you go to the theater and you put their nice glasses on. It's not like they're super heavy. They don't have batteries in them or any wacky thing like that. And then I got to do Star Wars in 3D and be in the TIE fighter or X-Wing or whatever and fly through the explosion. And I was like, yep, cool. I like it. Story wasn't the greatest, but the effects make up for it a little bit. So
Yeah,
if
that's
they could do that in 3D, I would be down for that. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see Tron in 3D, but I
see,
don't
that's
think
why
you
I
can do
don't
70 millimeter in 3D. I don't think those two things
no.
combine
Yeah,
properly.
no, because film and digital, 3D has to work in digital. Well, it's the 3D we're used to now. Like I've
Right.
got the Nightmare on Elm or no, the Friday the 13th. They did a 3D movie, back in like the 80s, and I watched that
Okay.
now because I have it on DVD, and it comes with like the blue and red lens glasses, like the old
Oh,
school.
yeah.
And I watched
Right.
that, and there's like broomsticks, they're like shoved at the screen, and it looks like it's coming right at you. I'm like, my goodness,
Right.
on these little piece of crap plastic glasses, and this old school film 3D, it has more like interactiveness than the actual high definition 3D than we get now in the theaters. Because you're right, it
Right.
doesn't have that like effect where
They
it
waste
makes
it a
you jump out
lot.
of your yeah. They just use it for the background visuals, but like give us something that makes us actually like jolt out of our seats a little bit. Like, oh my gosh, that looked like it was coming right at me. Yeah.
Exactly. Like one that I was very disappointed that I missed was, I'm pretty sure it was the second Sherlock Holmes movie that Robert Downey Jr. did. The scene where they're running through the forest and whoever the evil people are they Nazis in that movie? I don't remember.
In which movie?
In the second Sherlock Holmes one, when they're getting chased down in the forest and they start firing at them with the Gatling
Robert
gun.
Downey Jr.?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if they're
You remember
Nazis.
the Gatling gun scene?
Yes, I do.
And they're just mowing trees down. I'm
Yeah.
sitting there in the theater watching it, and I was like, you know what? If they did it appropriately, this scene would have been awesome in 3D. All of these pieces, all these wood chips flying out would be flying off the screen past my face. These extra bullets would be flying past my face. I was like, oh man, I should have came here like last week or 2 weeks ago whenever they were still running it in 3D because I missed it. I was like, son of a bitch. So I only go to the movie theater for movies that I'm going to see in 3D. If it's some random comedy, I'm not going to the movie theater to see it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? I'm not
To be-
paying
right.
the extra
That much
money
money.
to see
it has to be a movie
jokes
that I really
2
wanna
or
see.
3 months ahead of time.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, it's got to be something that I really want to see.
Like even The Last Jedi, it did not use the 3D effect as well as Rogue One did. Rogue One is, I mean, I didn't see Solo, so I don't know how it did it. Rogue One uses the 3D the best out of all of the movies, easily.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the, I guess, second to last scene, but the Vader scene.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I call it the second to last scene because the last scene is probably the worst one of the entire movie, because for the entire movie, you can't tell per se that anything is fake. You cannot tell me that Grand Moff Tarkin,
Tarkin looks
doesn't
really
look
good.
entirely real
Mm-hmm.
when for an entire movie from 40 years ago, or almost 40 years ago at that point, you had never seen his legs. Like, they didn't exist on film.
Yeah.
They weren't real.
Right.
So they had no idea what his legs looked like, period. And they're like, oh, well, fuck, we didn't even realize that was an issue until after we started, we got to recreate this character. And they're like, well, what pants was he wearing? What's up?
Let's take a moment. You noticed anything different about Hammer?
Oh, he's wrenched
now.
Yes, congratulations, Hammer. Oh, yeah, 70 millimeter. Yeah, I just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in 70 millimeter. Yeah, I've seen some 70 millimeter. It's pretty impressive.
I don't think I've ever seen one in 70 millimeter. So what is the difference?
Wider screen. It's
70 millimeter is like,
basically,
what is that?
Film. It's film,
18 by 5?
Wasn't Braveheart filmed in 70 millimeter?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look.
Because the movie I went to see Braveheart at General Cinema, and it was the old school cinema, huge wide screens, 2 theaters wide at least.
Huge wide screens. Yeah, it's a giant screen. Yeah, 70 millimeter.
Hey, Hammer, do you know Braveheart was filmed in 70 millimeter?
Is it so wide that you can't tell what's going on one end when something's happening on the other?
No.
Okay.
It was as big as a drive-in screen.
Some people have that issue at the IMAX. Like, I've been told for certain movies, if there's a lot of stuff happening on the screen, don't see it in IMAX because you won't be able to catch everything.
It depends. That can sometimes be true. Like with huge action sequences, you might miss things in the background because the screen is so wide that you actually have to like move, tilt your head to the left or right. So you might miss something. But yeah, with 70 millimeter, like Hammer said, it's 18K resolution. It's like really crystal clear and the color is really defined. Yeah, it's the pinnacle of cinema. Yeah, I would agree. That's
18K.
But they don't. It costs more now to do it, so they don't. They don't really do it.
Right.
Because the film, to film it like with the actual film itself, it costs a lot. So they don't. A lot of movies don't do it. But when they do, like Tarantino does it. He did it with Django. He did it with Django. No, what was the Hateful Eight? He did it with
Django Unchained.
Well. Yeah, but I don't know if he did the 17 millimeter with that. But he did 17 millimeter with
that was an awesome movie.
Hateful Eight. Yeah. His movies are all pretty awesome.
I like those two guys together. They play really well off of each other.
Yeah.
The guy who called his horse Fitz. Every time he'd say the horse's name, Fitz, he'd make noise and slap his tail. That's funny.
How can you have infinite dynamic range? What?
Infinite. It never ends.
How is that possible? I don't understand. I guess I don't understand what dynamic range is. If it can be infinite, I thought it went from a bottom of a scale to the top. Or is he saying just the entire scale of dynamic range is used? And I'm just interpreting it stupidly.
I think he's easy. Yeah, I don't know. Hammer, let's as per Kodak. Oh, I'm not sure what that.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, Kodak's dynamic range, like as per their definition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I understood what dynamic range is.
Well,
it's like your ability
really, I mean,
to differentiate this dark black from this light black, correct?
Right, yeah. Yeah. Infinite
So
and
that-
range are contradict each other.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what's confusing me, is saying an infinite
I
range.
think film dynamic range is unmeasurable. Yeah.
Okay.
So the range will exist forever because you don't know where it ends.
Ah. So infinite as far as the eye can perceive.
As far as the eye can perceive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I think I understand it then. Because yeah, like the 18K resolution, as far as I understand, your eyeball cannot see in 18K.
Yet.
We gotta get some of those Kryptonian eyeballs, hey?
That's right. I hear they.
I don't know what it tops out at. It tops out at like, I thought it was 14 or 16 in your eyeball so far.
Wow, that's already seems very intense.
Well, I mean,
you know, like the colors are like
that
more real than like real life when you watch some of these films. Like, how does it
right.
look? So, it doesn't even look like that in real life.
Right. Like, yeah, watching stuff in 4K seems like it's too fluid sometimes.
Yes.
Like stuff in real life has blur. Like, put your hand up and shake it back and forth. It blurs.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It doesn't move the way it does in the film, in the TV.
Right. Like everybody has had a lead pencil made of rubber before.
Yeah. And they have like that real motion, real dynamic motion, which also, changes things. It makes it sort of makes movies look like they're reality TV, which I don't like.
Right. No.
That real motion, you have to always set that off because a lot of the new high def. Oh yeah, P.T. Anderson. Yeah. Oh, The Master. Okay, that was filmed in 70 millimeter. Yeah, PTA is another guy that I love. Magnolia, Boogie Nights. Yeah, he's really good too. Even Punch Drunk Love. I mean, Adam Sandler, like for acting wise, that wasn't comedic. He did a great job in that. But that's like P.T. Anderson just gets his kind of performances out of guys.
I mean, the only PT that I liked was Barnum, but then they took his elephants away, so nobody goes to the circus anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No more elephants, huh?
Oh.
At least not in the big one.
A big one.
The Barnum and Bailey Circus?
Yeah.
I don't think they have trained elephants anymore.
No, they probably don't.
I don't think they do either.
It's like the whole frickin' you can't train whales at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
They get sad fins.
Yeah. One
and I
diver
was like, you know what's real sad? When they all get murdered in the ocean. So
yeah. The dolphins in was it Japan that they go on that like dolphin killing spree once a year. They have that cove where they push them all into that one area that they can't get out.
Like
murder them all. It's like a massacre.
And like, don't let people fool you. The Japanese don't mind wasting stuff to get a premium product. Like, they'll kill the whole animal for the fin. They're that kind of person. Yeah. They're like, we don't need the whole animal. We just want the fin. We're not Indians.
Yeah.
Like, they're not that kind of person where they have to use everything of what was harvested.
Right.
They just going for what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing about harvesting shark fins, is that you'd catch the shark and then you'd just cut the fin off, because the fin is only, maybe a couple pounds at most, and then you can toss the entire shark back into the ocean and not have to worry about carrying the carcass. Like, imagine if you shot a deer hunting, and you didn't have to worry about skinning it, taking the organs out, and then essentially deboning it by cutting all of the meat off of the bone to make your steaks or to make your hamburger meat or whatever you're going to do out of it. And you could just shoot it and just take the freaking meat.
That's the lazy man's hunting.
Exactly. Like, oh, I'm just going out for just antlers.
Yeah.
I would
Hey,
never
I've seen
hunt
The
like
Master.
that. I don't think I ever have. What is it, a thriller or?
No. It's about the guy who started Scientology, the author who wrote the freaking what's his name?
Didn't Robert Seymour Hoffman play in that?
Yeah, he was. He played
Tom Cruise's
Played the
Savior.
Master. That was a
It's L. Ron Hubbard is his name. L. Ron Hubbard. He plays L. Ron Hubbard, who was the founder of Scientology.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did some crazy stuff in that movie.
Yeah, that's Tom Cruise's Savior, right?
Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise is what?
Savior. The guy who started Scientology. Like,
Oh,
what would Tom Cruise be without Scientology?
No, I thought you were talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like, Tom Cruise, because he plays the villain in like Mission Impossible 3. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, there's a little crossover there. Tom Cruise, Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, the villain in Mission Impossible 3. What's it all saying? What's it all mean? Mandela effect.
It's saying they kill off the people in real life that are villains to Tom Cruise.
That's right.
Yeah, I have the Hateful Eight.
Yeah, Hateful Eight. Yeah, that okay. Yeah, that was 70 millimeter. Yeah.
Only thing I don't have that on is 4K Blu-ray. Got it on Blu-ray, but I haven't seen the 4K Blu-ray yet. If they come out with it yet.
Oh, as soon as everyone gets 4K Blu-ray, it's going to be 8K. You finally get your collection, and then all of a sudden 8K Blu-ray.
You know it.
Everything. Yeah. Everything.
I have a LG 4K Blu-ray player, and pretty much DVD or Blu-ray, it upscales at 21p, 2160p.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and when I got it, it was.
Oh, Hammer builds theaters for a living. He's an industry standard technician. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. Wow, that's cool.
That is cool.
That's why you know your stuff. You do this for a living. Sweet, that's really cool.
Indeed. Very cool.
Yeah. Oh. Well, guys, I think I'm starting to get I'm a little tired. I think I might
it's 4:43 a.m. in the West Coast here.
My wife's gonna be getting up for work in like 45
You're not the
minutes.
only one.
Yeah. I'm still gonna be awake.
Well, hey, Hammer, glad to have you.
Yeah, man.
We had a consensus that you should be a
oh yeah, for sure, a wrench.
And I think we're going to make some recommendations for some of the other fellows to wrench you as well.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I'm going to wrench you on my channel once I.
Yeah, the best way to do it.
You go to the channel. You go to the channel, right? And then you copy the channel link.
Yeah, you can just go to the live stream and the little 3 dots.
Yeah. You have to go to the channel one.
And then you can add them as moderator when you're in the live stream. When you see them in there chatting.
Oh, okay. When they're in your live stream, got it.
Yeah, when you just open a window and mute it, and then go to the live because you're chatting anyway, right? And you can put your mouse over the little 3 dots, click it, and then you can make them a moderator.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the private chat at all. I agree.
But agree to what? The other way is to go into settings and go into community.
What we're talking about, the giving of the wrench.
Oh yeah, Giving of the Wrench. Yeah.
I missed all of that.
Yeah, you
All
were
of it. I
awkwardly
was only
silent
watching
there.
the live chat
Okay.
or the YouTube chat or whatever. Yeah, I didn't
Even
see anything. That was
even
in the
after I
private
showed
chat.
that.
I wasn't looking at the screen at all. The only time I was looking at the screen was when you were showing the movies on the Voodoo account or whatever. Or showing the other ones that you were finding that we were talking about. Like, yeah, when we're just sitting here talking with icons up, I'm not typically looking at the screen because any comment that is going to be shown, I can see on YouTube. And I didn't think anybody else was showing up, so I didn't necessarily have to worry about seeing messages in the back. But now that I look down at my phone, I was like, oh, there was a whole conversation that I was technically supposed to be a part of.
We figured you'd agree anyway.
I did.
All right. You've heard of Ord's board, right? Final Death Star?
Yeah.
Well, he just had his 140.
I saw that. He was at like 50
celebration
of Sunday. And then he got on Drunk's featured Sunday video, and now he's at 140.
Awesome. Yeah. So he's who, and this is really interesting. He's who I'd want to come on this coming Saturday, and you were thinking the same thing.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I think he'd be a good addition. Yeah, to all of us. Yeah, I like him. I was thinking that same thing at work tonight. And then I saw you said that. I was like, oh, I know who you're talking about because I'm thinking the same damn thing.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to pop his link in the chat here real quick. And let's give him a little.
Where how do you get to the moderator if you're not, hosting it? You go to like settings, but where is it in? Do you go to TubeBuddy first, or do you go to your?
Yeah, you click TubeBuddy and then hit settings, and then it's in community.
TubeBuddy and settings. I don't even see where the settings are. My account, website, tools, dashboard. Oh, maybe it's in dashboard.
Yeah, click dashboard.
Hammer's going to do videos settings and start making us all look foolish. Excellent.
Oh, is that what he said? He's going to do videos?
He said, I'm just getting started on YouTube and Twitter. I mean, I don't know if that just means that he's watching a lot or if it means that he's going to start creating.
Oh, Stig's up? Oh, yeah, of course he's up. What's up, Stig?
Yeah, it's like 12:47 over there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been up for a while. Hammer, let's see.
Unless he's sleeping weird hours again.
Yeah, I always got V8 hours. Crack Skull
Hammer,
Media
I just
live.
subscribed to your channel too.
Oh, I was an hour off. Whoops.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Hammer, I just wrenched you. So, anytime I go live on my channel, you're wrenched.
Stig, I just wrenched you.
Stig, I got to wrench you right now too. How do I get? Let's see.
I got to update Windows on my computer first, Stig.
Go to channel. Okay. I was talking to Stig the other night on one of the streams. Let's see. It's the first time we talked. It's good.
Oh,
he's got a very
that's how you're doing it.
Craig Ferguson. You sound like Craig Ferguson when you talk.
Dude, I love Craig Ferguson. I don't watch late night TV anymore since
I like that one movie where he helps the one lady keep her property by creating a greenhouse, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. That's a great freaking movie. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Like, how many people in late night has a co-host named Jeff Peterson that is a skeleton robot and keeps a pantomime horse called Secretariat in a stable on the other side of the set?
Yeah.
All right.
Here
Stig.
is.
Okay, I got you. I got you wrenched, Stig, on my channel as well. PB, I don't know. Are you? I gotta get you wrenched. I don't even know if I ever you wrenched.
I don't know if I've ever been on your channel
I've only
doing a
had
live
like 2.
stream.
I think or 1. I don't know. I think I've had 2 now. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't do that many.
So
but
that's
I'm gonna.
Board's channel. Go over there and sub and show some support to this guy. He's really cool. I
Yes,
had
he
a
is.
brief encounter with him and I introduced myself to him. I subbed to his and he subbed to mine, and gonna have him on the 4th wave this Saturday. I think that'll be really cool.
Yeah, that will be cool. PB, all right, you're wrenched. Look at you, 352. Oh, wow,
Now I can do stuff. I'm gonna pass Zod any day now.
Yeah, you are.
And I haven't done a single live stream. Well, on my channel.
On your channel, yeah. Well, villains never prosper. In the end,
Man, I can't remember who was doing the Morgan Freeman impression, and they didn't even know they was doing it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they was using the same intonations. I can't remember who it was, but they sounded just like. What's up, Perp Minded? What's going on?
Perp?
Hey, Perp. Boy, everyone's waking up now, and I'm about to go to sleep. We got more watchers in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Perp.
Right? Everybody just
we wrenched you too.
Start waking up.
No.
I just wrenched you,
doing
Perp.
This stream for 2 hours and 50 minutes. This stream, and we were doing Zod I was on there for probably 45 minutes to an hour before that, and then I came straight from work. So it's been going on an all-nighter here.
Yep, I think I got on with him hour to hour 20 in, somewhere in there.
On Zod, yeah.
Yeah. I was not there at the start. And then there were 6 people, so there wasn't even technically room for me. And he was waiting for his big announcement, which was a fucking rumor.
What was
Grace Randolph knows, because his big announcement was Grace Randolph heard a rumor about Kathleen Kennedy either being fired or wanting to step down. And I was like, that was the big announcement you had to wait for me for? The fuck?
I don't know. We've heard that rumor before, though. I
was hesitant. Like, yeah, this is last year's story, and the year before that, and the year before that.
3-year extension. So, I mean, to fire her, they would have to pay her a lot of money. She'd have to.
It's going to be a lot of money out, right?
I don't know.
When it just seems easier to contain her until they've run the clock out.
Especially right before episode 9. I mean, if they would only be doing that if they were so worried that episode 9 was going to bomb that they figure, if we fire Kathleen, then maybe everyone will forgive us and go see the movie.
Right. They're not afraid of that.
A desperate PR move, but no, they're not afraid of that. They're too arrogant. Well, I mean, episode 9 is going to do big numbers.
It's going to make money.
It might not do as well as the first 2, but it's still going to make a ton of money.
It's going to make more money than Aquaman.
Yeah. It's still Star Wars, and it's the completion of everything. So, regardless, people are going to go see it.
I mean, yeah, we don't need to drag that conversation out.
No, yeah. It's too late for that to start getting into that right now.
Yep.
But yeah. I've been in and out of my coma. Oh man, yeah. I'm about to fall asleep into a coma right now.
Yeah.
Oh, when's the new episode of Mandalorian that comes out? Oh, it's still Friday.
Oh, that should be out in I
guess though, probably
18 hours or so.
Yeah, it'd probably be around midnight or before than that here.
I didn't even do my review of episode 2 yet.
Oh, you gotta get on.
It's gonna be a lot shorter than that 20-minute one. Dear God.
That 20-minute one. Yeah, you really went into detail.
Well, okay, so I pieced it together. I'll say this real quick. The first one, talking about the little telescope, is like a minute and a half, and I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. The second one, talking about the door closing scene and chopping Squidface in half, is like 3 minutes, and I was like, so this last one I should be able to do in 7 minutes maximum. And I got done recording it, and it was like 13 minutes and 40 seconds. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm only going to be able to trim off, a couple seconds on the beginning and end to, get the dead air off of there.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I didn't realize that last section was so much longer than the first two. Jesus.
It happens a lot though when I'm making I get it. Like when you make the videos, all of a sudden you're like 15 minutes in, you're like, yeah, how can I edit this to make it shorter? And sometimes it's tough. It's tough. I like to keep them to like 8 to 10 minutes, but that's hard. It's hard to do.
Right.
But yeah, the telescope thing was definitely. I noticed that too the first time watching. I'm like, oh, come on, figure out which eye you're looking at. But wouldn't the visor have a built-in telescope? I mean, that's my whole thing. Like he wouldn't even need that.
That's what I thought, that their helmets were more advanced than that. I thought they were built similarly to a Iron Man style face mask.
Yeah. Or it's got some digital display that zooms in.
And then the next thing that I thought was, well, on the inside, it might have a HUD style display, and then the outside is just essentially an eyeball. Well, if that's true, it's still fucking wrong. It's either wrong for him to put it in the middle, or it's wrong for him to put it off to the side. One of the two is wrong either way.
Yeah, they can't both be right. Although I guess Boba Fett did have he does have that kind of eyeglass, the one eye thing that sticks up, but it like flips down so he can see. So I guess they don't have the telescopic thing built in. He's got his it looks like an antenna, but it's actually like a little.
Like a scouter.
Did you ever read the EU stories that had Boba Fett in it?
No,
Nope.
I don't think I've ever read anything that have him in
it. They described how the heads up display on the inside of his helmet worked. He had 360 view. No one can sneak up behind him because he would see them coming. His helmet would alert him. Yeah.
Does that? So
you cannot
display thing.
Yeah, you cannot sneak up on a Mandalorian. Period. Because they already see you coming.
Right, as long as they have their fancy helmets.
But then I guess they can see 360, but they can't zoom in, I guess.
Right.
So, if that's the explanation, then I guess it wouldn't really matter where he puts that telescope, because 360 view, anywhere he puts it on his helmet, he
should have put it up to his fucking ear.
He could have put it up to his ear. Yep. But it's right on the top of his head. It would have worked.
I mean, great. No bird droppings on me.
Yeah. Stig is the EU master.
That's true. I would listen to him talk about the EU before I would listen to YouTubers talk about the EU. You're saying names?
Ryan knows. Well, he's the EU guy. He knows his EU pretty well.
He's a guy.
Yeah, well, he's one of the main guys. I know him, Lethal Lightning. What's the Matt? I forget Matt's last name.
Stig's been reading for longer.
Stig.
He's in his mid-40s.
Well, yeah.
I'm taking Hammer's argument and using it for my own purposes.
Well, that's why I brought that up, because I saw that there. And Lauren Mass, Mara Jade, absolutely. She is as well. She knows her stuff too.
Yeah, well, we need to lore master our ways off of this stream and to bed.
Oh my gosh, it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm plugging Perp real quick.
Okay.
It's kind of what I do.
Well,
He's
thanks,
on his way to 800.
Guys there for hanging out with us all night.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Hammer. Thanks for showing up, Perp.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah.
Not sure who else is watching at the moment.
It's
Jade just pop in?
No. Someone just mentioned. He just mentioned Mara Jade as a.
Cause I seen him put an ad symbol. Normally, when you do that, it highlights so that they can see it.
Yeah, but I don't think she's here.
Interesting. I wonder if you rewatch it with the live chat replay on, and you're that person. Does your name pop up?
Yeah, that's a good. I wonder. Yeah, I bet it would.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll show you.
It's interesting. Justin's probably getting ready to get up and jump out of his plane.
No, he's being a young Californian. He ain't gonna be up until well after the sun is.
Well, that's an old
See, that's how it looks to me.
How does it look to you? Wait, I can't see the screen. Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I'm
being
saying
weird.
like,
It don't
if
like being
Mara
close to
Jade watches this replay, will her name be in orange when she watches it?
You know, that's a really good question.
Because I feel like it should be, especially if you do it appropriately. Like you have the @ symbol in the right spot. You have all of the proper capital letters. You don't have a double space or anything like that. I would hope that your name would pop up and you'd be like, oh, someone mentioned me. Cool.
Yeah, that's
or maybe not cool, depending on who it is. I don't know.
depending on what you say.
Right? Like, I had an
Hail
argument
to
with
Mara
her.
Jade. Hell yeah.
It happened. You guys probably read it in KOTOR.
You had an argument with who?
With Mara Jade.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I really don't pay attention.
It was like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Okay. Yes. I remember that.
Yeah, I probably saw it, but I stay out of arguments.
Yeah, I try to too, but I did read that. I do remember that.
No, reading them is fun. Like, I got no problem with that. Like, that's a totally
reading
different
them,
thing.
it's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, 2 people are arguing in a group chat again. So then you read it and you're like, that was a good read. So I hope that people read through that and was like, God, this is funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Well, good. Then it was definitely worth it, at least. At least I think it was.
Entertainment value.
She came back right away anyways.
She, yeah, I've seen her in the Twitter feed tearing people apart.
Oh, yeah. She's good.
She's ruthless. She
yeah.
Oh, trolls beware.
Yeah.
Impolite people, rude people, beware.
Doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
And she, from what I always see on Twitter, she's never using her own point of view or her own arguments. She will only use yours against you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's
got that right.
To defeat someone, you use their own argument against them.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right. I am gonna go. I got one more person. I gotta. Hey, Hammer, plug your channel in the chat.
Yeah.
I just
deserves it. To the Hammer.
Yeah, to the Hammer.
See when that first video drops.
With the wrench, as you stated.
Hammer with the wrench.
Channel. Yeah. Hammer with the
wrench.
Oh,
when it popped up, I was like, wait a second. Like, you read the word and then you don't see the item. You see something else that was on the workbench.
Can you change that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's just like that's their YouTube's choice.
That was like some people were saying they were trying to manipulate the screen in certain ways to make it look like they had a different amount of subs, like turning the K into an M. Because they don't show the full amount of numbers anymore. They show 3 digits and that's it. And you'll look a lot more impressive if you have, 1.41 M subs than 1.41 K subs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because then your opinion's far more valid then.
Right, yeah.
Oh, wacky bastards.
People listen to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stream like this from now on and basically use the command center on my laptop and actually stream through my phone. I have less interruptions that way.
Oh, okay.
Because if the cam and the mic are both muted on the one that's not being used, they really don't pull any data, really, just to show a static image.
Right.
And it allows me to do what I just did, pretty much. Doing that on, here's the thing, using StreamYards on the mobile browser, if you're, I think it takes about between 20 and 30 seconds. If you go away from the browser and then like press your three lines and go to a different app, and then you got to immediately go back, because what'll happen is your mobile browser is designed to time out all the time. And there's like Penguin browsers that you can buy. Those don't time out. But I don't want to buy Penguin browser.
Nope, not paying for a browser. Basically,
Penguin browser, is it Penguin browser? Yeah, it's one that acts like a desktop browser on a mobile phone.
Okay.
And you got to pay for their service, because they have their own servers that basically uses Flash. So you're using the Flash from their servers when you go on a website that requires Flash, because a lot of Flash websites don't really work on mobile phones anymore because they've changed the design so much.
Ah.
So that's that. So I posted a link to your channel, PB.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think I got everybody.
Thank you everyone in the chat that was here throughout the show. And
hey, Hammer, can you post Sentinel's channel for him, because he's no longer around.
He was on the other show.
Yeah, he was. He was, and and I posted the link in that one to let him know to come over here.
Yeah,
because I pretty much just deleted that one. It's like, okay, don't delete the one that has the different thumbnail.
Yeah, I know, right? Poor guy. Waiting all that time.
All right. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Thanks for coming, and thanks for chatting the chat. And it's been a long night and morning. Yeah. So you'll notice the title has changed. Fourth Wave Late. Wow, it's a late edition. Mandalorian discussion.
I don't even know 12 if we talked about the Mandalorian.
We got
12 talked about a lot of other stuff. Did we glance over it?
Yeah, we had some UFO and some kind of discussion like that.
Supernatural stuff, Mandela effect. Well, it was like more the Mandela than the Mandalorian, but it's
we talked about some of that bump in the night stuff.
Yeah,
metaphysical, unusual, different galaxies, mirror universes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
our experiences with memories that we had, but everyone else didn't.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's like when I was 11, I crossed a river on river barge. Vehicles go on, Nope, didn't happen. Like, what? I swear we did.
Yeah.
Deja vu. Yeah.
We'll have to approach this topic again sometime.
Oh, for sure.
With more examples.
For sure.
And topic.
Let's see. I think. Let's see here. I got something just for that.
Good.
All right. Now, let's see. Check it out. Okay. Let's do this.
I thought he was going to play the Rocky theme. I mean, the theme to the Mandalorian.
Oh, he disappeared.
Close Encounter of the Fourth Wave.
Oh, the fourth wave.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a
And then
potential.
his face just appeared out of nowhere. That was
I
cool.
know. It's
Yeah.
kind
Kind of why I like the chroma cam. I can disappear
yeah.
for a moment and not turn the
It
cam
fits
off.
with the close encounters thing too.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good. Yeah, we'll have to we'll use that as our thumbnail next time we do the late edition
Yeah.
fourth wave.
And that's that one.
Use a Mandalorian flute.
I pretty much I use paint for the main part, and all the lettering I use Power Director, word labeler.
Yeah, that's good.
So let's say
well,
goodnight. Thank you for coming, and it's been fun.
I'll chat with you guys next time.
Hail to the Phantom Menace. Oh, and guess what? StreamYards is getting a B+ by what is it? DuckDuckGo search engine.
Quack, quack.
B+. Quack, quack. Use the quack, quack search engine. Well, hail to the Phantom Menace.
Hail to the Phantom Menace.
And now I'll end it. that redundant little box is